Alrighty, let's go and get started here. All right, man, just a dude streaming from a shed, running a little show here at night. Okay, I run the late night show, the most popular late night show on YouTube, Internet Soap. Okay, I'm Mr. Deadman, your host. Tonight we're talking about what Rekieta, of course, talking about the Thorps, dude. So I previewed some stuff throughout the day on my work to see what we're gonna talk about, and there was something I was watching. I was like, man, I really hope I don't have to stream snipe this. I hope this isn't the content tonight. And something saved it. You know what saved it? Ben Thorp. The content tonight, it's gonna feature what I begrudgingly do not want to make. Okay, it has to involve something with the locale universe. But it has to start with, it involves a show from the locale universe that is like probably the worst of the worst. I don't know if you know this or not, but Keemstar has a bunch of various little shows he has running, right? With various themes, locale this, locale that, locale live, locale queens, locale milkers. There's even a locale dolls, which, what is that? I have no idea. Why would I ever listen to that? Why would you ever listen to that? It's like Teen Bop locale. It's like locale for like the store Claire's in the mall. It's like locale Teen Vogue. That's what it is. Why? But the only reason why I'm covering this is because, I kid you not, Ben Thorp saved it. Ben Thorp saved it by making an appearance and doing the impossible. We're going to talk about that here tonight here, okay? We got Rekieta. We got a little bit of Ruby and Ben Thorp kissing and makeup. That's right. And then, of course, we have Ethan Klein exposing iDubbbz by just interviewing the coach that was training iDubbbz for Creator Clash 3 and all that nonsense. A little conversation that goes a long way. All right. Now, I'm going to start this with the Rekieta. That's what we're going to do here. Let's see. Anyone watching yet? Oh, hey. We got 5 watchers. Hey, that's good numbers for me. All right, moving on up here. That's great. Let's get those likes up. There. Hey, W Pistons in the chat. Hey, how you doing, man? I hope you're having a good day. What is it? Is it a Wednesday? No, it's a Tuesday. It feels like it's a Wednesday. No. Yeah. Tomorrow, I'll finally see a real eye doctor and hopefully get this thing taken care of, man. 2 months. I've had a pink eye for 2 months, man. This is not pink eye. I've been cursed. I'm telling you. Okay. All right. I'm going to check this out. This is Rekieta. And I previewed this clip. I previewed it, and it is a doozy right from the beginning. You know, I want to sample a little bit to see, okay, how good is this going to be? In the very first second of this clip is already a doozy. It really is. Brace yourself. Clean out your ears. Get ready. I'm going to press the play button. And you're going to... Here we go.
Oh, speaking of karma, real quick. I try not to bring my personal drama into this show.
Whoa! Real fast. Did you hear that? Nick Rekieta is saying he tries to not bring up his personal drama into this show? We have to hear that one more time.
Real quick. I try not to bring my personal drama into this show.
Is he trying to lie lie harder? Like what is going on? You know, let's hear that one more time.
Quick. I try not to bring my personal drama into this show.
Rekieta, the man we know so much of because of his drama that he brought onto his show. That's the guy who doesn't want to bring drama to his show. Rekieta, we only know about your swinging ways because you brought that drama onto your show. We only know that you've been cucked by this man named Aaron, and he made love to your wife, and he He dropped his load in her. He shot his love juice deep inside your wife. We know that. Because of him, because of you, because of all of you. You showed the jacuzzi stream where all y'all were together doing weird stuff. It is because of you, Rekieta, that we saw you strung out on cocaine. You were strung out, dude. You were taking hits between during the stream. You would take little breaks, and the breaks got longer and longer. And it's like, where is this guy? You'll come back even strung out than before. It isn't. This is the guy. He's actually trying to say he's not going to include his personal drama on this show, on his show. Like I kind of wonder if Rekieta has done so many drugs, completely blasted his mind to the point to where reality isn't even real to him anymore. Like maybe he lives in a different realm, a different dimension, and we're only seeing him, you know? Like, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. But okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and continue. I mean, within 6 seconds of this clip, he already told like a huge freaking lie. That's like, what are you talking about, Rekieta? What are you talking about? But okay.
But just warning people, on Thursday, there's an insane person who is going to come out with some sort of accusation.
Gabe Hoffman? Is that who you're talking about? On you? Huh? Or is it Mama K?
About me. It will likely involve an accusation of spousal and child physical abuse.
Oh, okay. And you've never done anything like that before, huh?
Something I do not do and never would.
Are you trying to convince yourself? Because I don't think you're convincing your audience.
It's going to come from a dubious source. And
and you're not a dubious source. You lied from the beginning of this. Your drama is so rich, so potent. It is so impossible for you to not include it into your show. You have so many skeletons in your life. They're not in the closet. They're all throughout your freaking house. I mean, you literally do have one in the kitchen. But they're everywhere. These skeletons. Your secrets. And they're making love to your wife. Okay?
And I'm just preparing people for that. It's, if I'm not mistaken, the same accusation has already been made to the county. They completely ignored it. They didn't find any merit to it.
Well, of course the kids are going to deny. Of course, Miss Rekieta is going to deny. And if there's no disclosure, there's nothing. Right? Oh, I know that.
It's an allegation of public abuse that was just not happened to be not witnessed by anybody. And so if that's the big reveal, go for it, I guess.
All righty. Now that he prepped his audience for it, what else is in this clip?
The weird desperation of these people and the need, like, you don't need to lie about me. You don't need to lie.
You're right. We don't. We just need to tell the truth. We just need to show what it is you do.
About me to like call out my faults and my errors. That doesn't need to happen. I've made plenty of mistakes on my own.
He's begging for forgiveness. He's asking for forgiveness, but yet he can't even admit that he did the things he did. He can't even admit that he is the reason why we know about his drama here. You know what? To this day, I don't think he actually has taken accountability. To this day, I don't think he blames himself bringing the drugs into the home. And don't get it twisted, man. I'm a man who likes to party at times, but you keep that away from the house. You keep that away from the kids. Okay? But he brought that into his home. You ruined his marriage with that swinging stuff, but that's not the biggest thing, the biggest concern. That's just more funny than it is anything else. It's the bringing the drugs into the home, man, with your kids there. And you're actively using while your kids were there in the other room. If you're blasting your mind on coke, how can you possibly be a good father? You're more concerned about riding high, getting the next bump, pleasing April with your baldo because your dick don't work. While you're doing that, your kids are left to their own devices, literally on their devices, their iPads, living in complete filth. If you guys are doing drugs, you guys aren't doing laundry. We know that for sure. We've seen those photos. Even the good photos, even the ones you try to show us, the ones that you try to use to make yourself look good, they still made you look bad.
That you don't need to come up with some fantasy story. Just tell the truth about me, and plenty of people will hate me. That's fine. That's how life goes. When you make big mistakes. Yeah, so that's apparently happening on Thursday. So that'll be funny.
So stay tuned for Thursday. Should be quite fun.
This is what you deal with, I guess. When you become the e-daddy of a bunch of lonely.
Oh, you're not the e-daddy. You're far from that. You weren't even your kids' dad. You weren't even a dad for them.
And lost men. I didn't mean to do that, but I ended up doing that, and they're really mad that I went out for milk and cigarettes and didn't quite come back yet. Thank you, Dark Horse Productions. I love me too. I also love my wife and my children. I would never hit them.
You love them so much. You love them so much, huh? Uh-huh.
Under any circumstances. I don't believe in physical violence. Again, especially against loved ones. I mean, I believe in physical violence existing. It has its uses, just not on your family.
I'm quite curious about this accusation.
That's going to be a thing. Just as a warning. I don't know how much more the level of concern about my life is so off the charts, and people's will.
Well, hey, when you make a business, get into people's, you cover their worst, right? You cover their worst situations with the lawsuits and all that, right? Like you said, it's best to have things brought to light. All right, well, let's do that.
Willingness to lie about it because they use the false, the fallacious reasoning of, well, Nick's a drug addict, therefore we can say whatever we want about him. But
well, I mean, you made the bed there.
And I suppose they can say whatever they want. It just doesn't make it true.
And your words mean nothing, Rekieta. Dude, you told the biggest lie already in this little clip here. Like, you shot any sort of credibility you have, though. Honestly, there's nothing. Like, you could say a simple truth, and I still wouldn't believe you. You could say that there is a sun, and we orbit around that sun. And I would say, bullshit. You're a liar, Rekieta. You tell lies. You sit on a throne of lies.
So I would I don't want to talk about this shit. I would just like to do my show and have.
Oh yeah, I missed that in the chat. Grove's pointing out in the chat that Rekieta loves Me Too. I think he loves the Me Too. I think that's what he means. Hashtag Me Too. He loves being the Me Tooer. I think that's what that is there. I'm just joking.
That happened, but other people are insistent on trying to shove that stuff into the world to do something to me. I'm not quite sure what. But you are a drug addict. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you totally are. You use whippets, bro. You use whippets.
I abused drugs. I did. I haven't done them in a while now. I don't have any desire for them.
That's what he's doing. Technically, it's not a drug. Technically, he's right. It's like, okay, you're using loser. You're using junkie stuff to get high now. Okay, that's how low you are, because you can't even get the stuff anymore because you brought it to your home and you made all this trouble for yourself. Man. Anyway. Yeah, that's Rekieta preparing his audience there for I guess the accusations that are be coming from Gabe Hoffman. All right, looking forward to that. That should be. Is that going to be nuclear? Well, we'll see. Oh, he said he loved himself before he loved his family. Well, that is true. That is true. Priorities, right? He has to love himself before he can love anyone else. It's kind of like when you're in an airplane. You know, you got to save yourself before you could save anyone else, right? It makes sense. That's why he brought his booger sugar into the home. That's why he brought his mistress into the home. That's why he had all those wild rock star Diddy party stuff going on in his bedroom, which is just like a couple doors down from the kids' room. You know? Like wild stuff happening. It looks defeated here. As he should be. For the things he's done. But I want to hear that one little bit again. That one little bit. Right from the beginning of this clip, it starts off with a doozy. Here we go.
Oh, speaking of karma, real quick, I try not to bring my personal drama into this show.
He tries not to bring his personal drama onto his show. You know, for years now, it's been nothing but his drama onto his show. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. From that sentence, everything else he said here, there's no way you could believe any of it. Now. Ooh. Now I'm going to drain the lizard a little bit. Have a burst of the banjo. In other words, I'm going to take a piss. I did not do that before this. I'll be right back. I'm not doing any whippets. Not that you know. I'll be right back. There's no inhaling. No. Now it's taking a piss. Taking a piss. Okay. All right. Oh, one thing I realized, I learned just a little, before starting the stream. Apparently one of those George Soros weird, possibly fake, totally not astroturfed protests are going to take place near Houston in Webster, which is like 30 minutes away from my house on, I think, Saturday. Should we go down there for some IRL content? Was that a 12? Oh no, I stream in a shed. So I just pee outside. That's it. I just water the grass. That's what it is there. I don't live in a shed, I stream in a shed. But you know, I encourage my chat to make any sort of fan fiction they want. That's cool. For a while back, people used to think I didn't even have legs. I was in a wheelchair. Oh, hey, wait a second. The camera is this camera likes to follow me. Okay. Alrighty. So our next little segment here. Now, I normally finish off with the Thorp stuff as of late. So let's get into the iDubbbz stuff real fast here. So this is going to be Klein getting into talking to the coach for Ian and Anisa. Okay. Let's check this out real fast. Mr. Deadman box wine stream. Not yet. But you'll definitely get that if you play your cards right. Ethan Ralph vibes. Yeah, I'm not allowed to live in the home anymore. I was pretty bad. Brought my mistress home and, you know.
Horizontal again. Maybe we'll fix.
Yeah.
If you go,
or maybe it has rotate. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. There it is.
Thank you.
Harley, you here? Can you hear me?
Harley, you're muted. I was talking on a muted microphone. Can you hear me?
Harley, everybody.
Hey.
We sure can.
Paul Shaggy? Shaggy? That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Now, Harley actually put me in touch with these guys. And so how did you guys connect? Kind of Michael, Kate, and Harley, you guys were in touch, right?
Well, I know them from Creator Clash, actually. That's how I met them. And I never saw the clip, Michael, of you saying that you could beat up all the coaches. I'm telling my coach, we'll see about that. I don't know. He's not going as hard as you do every day, but I don't know.
I've seen Michael. He's a beast.
Yeah. I don't know where he gets all that energy. I'm not a morning person, so someone like Michael would piss me off. I feel like he's good to go first thing in the morning.
Oh my God!
Let's skip that.
I love your doggy. What? Oh, she looks.
Let's get to the interview.
Terriers. I've got.
Yeah, we did.
So, guys, first of all, thanks for calling. I really appreciate it. Great. Hold on one sec. Sorry. I have to request access from myself.
We're gonna make this faster.
To access my nubs.
$150 an hour for dynamic filming, but because I was under the impression that this is going to charity,
me
and Michael, would always scale back on charging them. So, for example, instead of charging him $150 an hour, I would charge him $100 an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, which would make sense if you thought it was go to a charity, right? You're gonna give them lower rates. Turns out, no, it's not going to a charity. You could spend additional money on the side to some other thing, and it could go to a charity. Which is like, that's not what you guys are saying.
And by the way, I've heard that from other professionals now. I'm starting to hear people say that like one of the announcers put out a video recently. Maybe you guys saw it. He was like, Wade? Yeah. He was like, they offered me a salary or they offered me payment, but I declined it because I was like, it's for charity. I'm good. But then they took that money that he generously forfeit, a guy who's not rich, by the way, and gave it to all the fucking creators. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, we were also promised a bonus on CC1, and we never got it. But because Michael is so nice, he didn't want to like make Ian feel uncomfortable and ask Ian and Anisa about it.
Well, you should have pressed him. If you're promised a bonus, get your bonus. Press those guys. I mean, hey, if you refuse to do that and they didn't give it to you, I mean, that sucks. But you got to press them to get that money, okay? That's what you guys should have done.
I was pretty upset by it, and I thought it wasn't fair because how is it that we put on this great event, we raised $1.3 million for charity, and he promised us a bonus, and then right after the event, he just kind of pretend like he's too busy to check in with us, you know? And then we...
Yeah, after the event, like, once the event ended, I didn't see him again for about 5 months.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, because he was working with Dax on some show, and so he never trained. So the only 8 times that Ian ever actually trained was I trained him from July until May, and then I didn't see him again pretty much for several months. And then he started training again to fight Alex. Pretty much we started at like the end of December. And then that's when like they had to kind of get serious with the camp because they realized like Alex was training hard. So really I only had 10 months with him to begin with, and then about 4+ months with him for the second event. And then I've never seen him again since then.
Only 4+ months of training for the second event? Sounds like the heart is not in it. Sounds like he doesn't really care about boxing.
Yeah, I was talking to AB. I think it was pretty normal that the boxers at least gave their coaches a tip, especially because you were there. You weren't just working for him. You were helping everybody out. It seems like you guys were both like super involved in this event.
Yeah, one of the reasons he was even able to kind of connect with Manny Pacquiao's people who hooked him up with Michael Leonardi was like one of our connections. Our friend Eric ran into a guy in a bar in Vegas, and that was the guy they were supposed to get a hold of, but he was not reaching back to him. So we were able to get them connected with the people that connected them with Michael Leonardi. So we were literally there from I was there from the beginning for everything.
Okay.
So you guys had a really unique point of view where you had like a front row seat.
That is a strange little tick, isn't that? That like hand looking thing. That is a really strange tick.
To everything. Yeah. It seemed like you were with them intimately more than probably anyone else involved in this event. So there's all these interesting little details that you guys shared with me. For example, one being that I think it was you, Kate, that mentioned that he and Anisa did in fact pay for Hassan and all of his compadres.
Well, of course they'll pay for them to come out.
To travel to and stay at Creator Clash 2.
Oh, pay for travel, pay for stay, pay for all that? Oh, yeah. You got to take care of all those champagne socialists first, right? Before you can even give a dime to charity. You know, it's not like Hassan isn't swimming in money, right? It's not like he couldn't afford it. Like these people, and this is Ian and Anisa. Like they're the far left commie loving sort of types, right? That's exactly what they are, right? They want to be like Hassan. They want to be a Hassan orbiter for real. You know, these people will talk a lot of talk, but when it comes time to actually helping people that need to be helped, well, they're not going to do that. No. They'll take care of their own needs and their buddies' needs first. Not even the coach. That's why the coach is here, by the way, because they were shafted. They were not paid right. Okay, they were promised things and they were not given what they were promised. So they got tired of that. They got fed up.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were talking about that long before, about how they had to fly in all these people. First of all, they rented the hotel for over 300 creators.
They rented hotel rooms for over 300 creators? Holy crap! What's the math on that? Do we have an Asian in the chat? Do we have an Asian? I don't know if I could do the math.
And flew a lot of them in. When the first year it was much more scaled back. We just had a couple floors of like some place, like a nice suite place, but it wasn't extravagant at all. And then the second year they did that full hotel for 300 creators. They flew a lot of people in. One of the people they flew in was Froggy Tonic, and they flew him in from France.
That's insane.
Dude, what the hell? You know that was expensive.
Insane.
And Froggy had told us that he was there to salvage the documentary.
Yeah.
And that was super offensive to us because we're like, what do you mean salvage the documentary?
Yeah, champagne socialists, people like Hassan, people that orbit him, the people that are like the far lefty types, the people that talk all that talk, but when it comes time to actually, I don't know, paying people what they're owed, right? Like they say, fair wage and all that stuff, When it's time for them to do that, they won't do that. They can't do that. They can't be bothered.
Documentary. And he said his job was to go around and like film Anisa having interactions with everyone. So we didn't know if that meant they were going to make the second documentary about how, or the actual documentary about how like Anisa was responsible for the event, because she did put a lot of work in for the first event and she did put a lot of work in for the second. But at the same time, in the first event, she didn't get credit for it. So she felt like she deserved all the credit. So
oh, really? That's not how it works, Anisa. Oh, so sad you didn't get any credit in the first event. But just because you didn't get any credit in the first event doesn't mean you get the sole credit in the second. Oh, that is so petty. So petty and vindictive. It really... I don't know much about Anisa, but from what I'm getting, for the things I've seen, the little I've seen, I'll say, it's like I know so much about her. Very petty, very vindictive, very scornful.
So I think that's why they paid Froggy Tonic to come film her and follow her around for the second event. But yeah, they flew in a lot of people. They rented out the whole hotel for 300 creators. And when we asked them if Ian's dad was going to be there, because he was there for the first event, they said they couldn't afford to fly Ian's dad in. It was too expensive.
Oh, wow. Now look at that. Oh, we don't have any money for you, for your father to come out to watch you fight. We spent all that money on, Hassan and our friends. Okay, I see how that works. You would think you would take care of the fighters first, right? You think you would take care of them.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty sad. And Froggy Tonic told me directly, because I met him at the hotel, right, where we were all staying at in Tampa for CC2. And he was like, oh, you're the videographer that has all the content of Ian sparring. And I said, yes, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this documentary, but it never came out. So I heard that you're taking it over now and you're going to help with the editing. And that's when Froggy Tonic told me that, yeah, Ian and Anisa brought out his whole crew from France.
His whole crew?
I think it was just him.
Well, he had a few people that were holding the cameras, his camera guys. Because the interesting thing was that usually when like someone is a videographer, they would be the one filming most of the time. But it was interesting to me that
he was just directing.
Yeah, he was more directing.
This fucking guy thinks he's Spielberg?
Scorsese.
What the hell's going on?
Camera people with him that were actually doing the work.
I don't remember that, but I do remember for a fact that he had told us that he was flown in to salvage the documentary. Anyway, so we
just salvaged the documentary because it wasn't good enough for probably Anisa, right? You need more glory shots.
We're just offended by that because we were like, what do you mean salvage the documentary? And then him saying that he had no idea how to make the documentary for the first event.
Oh, that's even better.
It taken him from like 140 pounds as like never played a sport a day in his life. 10 months later, he ends up fighting Dr. Mike in front of over 10,000 people with 100,000 pay-per-view buys. Mm-hmm. And the fight itself was like a rocky moment. And then he he literally took interviews with everyone before the fights, after the fights. He got all the coaches to interview. And then he said he had no way to make the documentary. So I was just like, how can you not make it?
Yeah.
You record all that footage. You don't know how to edit it. You don't know how to put it together to tell a story. Of course not. Of course not, right? But the people who could have done that, the people who were going to do that, they got shafted.
He made a documentary.
Everybody made a documentary.
AB, Harley, I was in their documentaries, but I wasn't in Ian's documentary.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's so sad to work on an event, like to work such a big event like Creator
You guys
Clash.
were so invested. Yeah.
We're so invested.
Well, they have to be. They're training the freaking fighters, and you want the fighters to be as good as they're going to be. This is insane to me. I didn't realize it was this bad. Let's get those likes up.
And it would always drive me crazy because I could tell Ian wasn't really proud of his work. So one of the big things is like it was very hard to get Ian to train because he doesn't like boxing. He doesn't like boxing.
Well, that seems to be somewhat of a
problem,
a sticking point.
Yeah. So I would try to make the session
because he's boxing, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't.
But I think that's why it was as traumatic as it was for him as well, because he was dealing with like a lot of trauma and a lot of issues when we were in our boxing sessions. And don't get me wrong, that happens with a lot of fighters in general, because fighting's very hard. Whether you're fighting MMA, boxing, whatever, it's very hard because you're getting beat up constantly, and then you're supposed to show up to the gym the next day and the next day and the next day. AB can attest to it, right? So it's mentally very hard. So I did feel bad for him because I could tell his heart wasn't into it. So then to be into something like that your heart's not into, that's why I didn't see him once the first event ended. We didn't see him again for several months. And I told him, hey, come in once or twice a week, train for fun, make it fun for yourself. Because when you're in a fight camp, it's not really fun. You just have to keep training.
Right.
But then he never came back. And then so I was like, oh, wow, he really doesn't like boxing. And then he did an interview with Anthony, or the guy from Smosh, and he was talking about boxing. And I was just like, oh, he doesn't like boxing at all. And he's making it like public now, the way he was talking about it. And then even in the video where he's trying to promote Creator Clash 3, he said, oh, all I have is 4K footage of me going, and it's like, that's called boxing training, Ian.
That's what boxing looks like.
Yeah, that's literally what you're doing. And then if you notice, after he walked out of the third event and stepped away, he goes, I'm through with this boxing shit. I've been doing it for 4 years. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You trained for 10 months for the first fight. You took 6 months off. You trained 4 months for the second fight. And then you never came back to boxing again for over a year.
Because he's not interested. He doesn't care that much, right? It's just totally fake. He only got into it because Anisa told him to get into it. That's it. By the way, I'm going to put this little post here in the chat. Look, I'll be taking shots tonight for every 10 likes are don't know, of course, okay? All right. The thing that we do.
So I'm like, how are you sick of boxing? Like, you obviously hate boxing. So yeah, so it was hard for me as a coach to just get him to train. Also, like, half of the sessions we'd have to train Anisa. So every session, instead of being just training for Ian for a fight, I would have to take half of the session and train Anisa.
So whose idea was that?
Hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, Ian goes along with it, right?
See, let's back that up. That was Rich. That was Rich right there. So wait, so it's really about Ian to train, right? It's really about him because he's the one who needs to train. But Anisa wants to insert herself in there.
Instead of being just training for Ian for a fight, I would have to take half of the session and train Anisa.
So whose idea was that?
Hers.
Wow. But she's not even fighting. Why is she training? Oh, she has to be included in it, huh? Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, Ian goes along with it, right? Because I feel like if Ian would have said, hey, no, I need the time to train, it might have been different. But he's just like, oh no, she needs to train before I train.
But she didn't even fight. She wasn't even fighting.
No. And so literally, in like the training footage, half of the sessions I had with him would be with her. And then she would come in with like all sorts of drama to the gym. One day she was super dramatic and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And she related Will Smith slapping to Chris Rock to somehow Ian having to defend her online. So she was like super dramatic the whole day. And I'm like, I can't even train Ian today because she's so dramatic. So that was constantly
Give me a sec.
happening.
Give me a sec.
Keep fucking my mouth.
The slap? The slap
thing. Really? You know, when that happened, oh man, I totally forgot that thing even happened. That's what upset her?
Gosh.
Yeah, yes. She came in distraught, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah.
She's on Chris. She's on the slapper side, right? Like she was empathizing with Will.
You got
She felt like she felt like Will was Ian.
See, look at that. The boxer coach was expecting a different response there. He was not expecting, what Ethan had said. Because you're not really expecting anyone to be on Will's side, right? But it was like that.
She's on Chris. She's on the slapper side, right? Like she was empathizing with Will.
You got to
she felt like she felt like Will was Ian.
He had to slap.
Ian has to slap all the people that insult her, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, but anyway, so
that's true.
But Ian, she did, dude. To this day, I don't even understand if Anisa even really cares for Ian, because it seems like Ian's just so defeated, like an abused dog, like his soul's gone. Is that just me? I think a lot of people have said that, actually. I think a lot of people have said that about him. The iDubbbz scene, very different now. For sure. And he'll just do whatever Anisa says. It doesn't have... Oh, wait. I think I heard this before, but I'm just going to go and say Ian was probably a virgin, right? He lost his virginity to Anisa, right? It has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. He was a pale, helpless virgin, and Anisa was his first and only. So he's committed to that, no matter what she does.
I'm not putting this word. This is my observation. Will Smith is one of the most famous cucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, that's my analysis, not your guys'. But it is an interesting analogy, right? For them to be idolized, because Jada famously had an affair with her son's friend.
Dude, that's crazy too. Not only was he cucked, but he was cucked by his son's friend. Man.
So I wonder if that's how they relate more so than the slapping.
Keep fucking my wife's mouth.
Yeah, it's just me. I'm doing a little psychology here, psychology in Los Angeles.
I got a couple questions actually, if you don't mind.
Harley, what's up, man?
Yeah,
please, by all means, chime in anytime.
Okay, yeah, I had a couple questions. Let me get.
What's
let me
happening?
Set this up right here properly. Get this in order. Did you guys get any paperwork, by the way? Did you guys sign contracts? The fighters had contracts. I'm curious if the coaches had.
No, we never had a contract.
No.
Oh, interesting, because that would have been like something that would have detailed what's like what I mean, did they, I guess by word they told you it was charity and they didn't ever.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'm still.
I like how the guests don't even notice any of that. I wonder if they can even really see that.
Hoping that the first event was all charity, other than Ian taking his fighter purse. But what was crazy about that is then you said you had a $27,000 bonus, and I was always under the assumption that there was no bonus, because even though he told me there was a bonus, he then disappeared for 6 months and I never saw him. So.
No. He told everybody else there was a bonus, and they got their bonus. He just shafted you guys. That's what happened. Okay, he wanted to keep your bonus for himself.
I was like, was there a bonus or was there not a bonus?
And you confronted about that? You asked them, or you didn't want to?
No, I just let it be.
Because I'm the same way, by the way.
Yeah, the coach's bonus paid for Anisa's fancy purse. She got herself one of those fancy handbags, okay? That's what happened there.
Hey, I never spoke about money with Creator Clash. I have a guy on my team that does that. I wanted to not talk about money. And plus it's awkward when it's a charity thing. You're like, I don't want to, am I going to ask for money?
Yep. Right.
Yeah, and it's awkward when it's your fighter and then you have to train him for a whole nother event. And I mean, truthfully, like a lot of times fighters will say they're going to pay a coach and then not pay a coach. So that happens sometimes. So truthfully, unfortunately, I'm used to that.
Now, this is also the same coach that Anisa had a crush on. So the next question should be, did Anisa make a move on you? Was she trying to be flirtatious with you? You know? Right next to his girlfriend, you know?
Right, where they're like, oh, there's more money coming in. And then the more money coming in just goes to them. So you get used to that as a coach. But I am under the assumption that the first event did all go to charity. And then the second event was supposed
But it didn't, though.
to go to charity, but instead it went to the hotel, the pre-party and after party.
Was there a moment
about the after party? Because he said he was using the after party to help promote the event, but I have no idea how an event after the fight will generate money for the fight.
Well, so that's
it's not generating money for the fight. No, it's just a money waste. But the gala, the party afterwards, oh yeah, guys, the party afterwards is going to generate money, right? You're right. No, not at all. That's not what's happening. You expect those Ian and Hassan and all those guys to be putting out their money for charity and stuff like that? No. That's not happening.
His most recent video of concern trolling. In the beginning, he says he's explaining how they lost money in the second one. And he goes, the event before the boxing was to promote it, and that sounds reasonable and normal. But I don't think he even mentioned the fact that there was a massive gala after the fight where Anisa got to play as MC and give out awards and shit.
So we actually didn't even know about
awards for what? For just showing up? Because who are these awards for? The boxers? No. It's just ball washing for Hassan.
The gala until about probably maybe less than a week before the event or a week before the event. The only reason I knew about the gala was because Ian had invited some of his training partners and they were on the email list. And so they kept telling me there was going to be a gala. And I assumed they were talking about the pre-party because the first year they did do the pre-party, but it was much smaller. It was on a way smaller scale than the second year. And then also, so we had no idea. So when everyone was asking me about a gala, they're like, what are you going to wear? I was like, I'm going to wear sweatpants. What are you talking about? And then they're like, what? You're going to wear sweatpants to a gala? You're crazy. And I was like,
first year, it was like, the first year was like a little party thing. It was like a Sweet 16 vibe.
Which is all you need.
It's game set up.
I mean, having a pre-party for the event, that's understandable. But having a party afterwards where you're saying the proceeds will go to charity and you're having that party and you're burning through that money. You know, man, I just want you guys to realize the guys that set this up, Ian and Anisa, care more about having a party with their friends than they do about raising money for charity. Okay? I think I've heard Ian use the whole charity for the charity for cancer as a shield. But he cares so little about that. Because if he actually cared about that, instead of spending that money on a stupid party where he's going to ball wash Hassan and all his friends and all that, he'll put that money towards charity. So it's really Ian and Anisa that don't care about the cancer kids. I've raised more money for cancer kids years ago when I did a video game stream for St. Jude's. A long time ago. I raised $500 for that. That's a lot more. That is a lot more than what these clowns have raised. But they're like little boxing thing. It's a scam, dude.
So it's totally Super Smash Brothers setup. It was in the hotel both years.
That sounds great.
It was much more casual, but if you dressed for that, like I was told specifically to dress nicely for the gala, that there would be pictures and such.
We found out it was a red carpet event that they flew Getty Images in for. So they straight up flew Getty Images to take pictures for the event. But
dude, no expense spared, right? No expense spared at all.
Yeah, they're the only. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, when we asked them about it, and I said, hey, is there a gala? And they said, oh, you guys don't even worry about it. You don't have to go to that. And I said, what? This is what Anisa said. And I said, what? And I said, well, some of the sparring partners got invited. And she said, I don't know how they got on that list. They weren't supposed to be on the list. And in my mind, I'm like, Ian had invited them. He sent them the email personally.
What a disgusting human being she seems to be. I'm sorry.
So the party wasn't even for them. Wow. Dude, she's such a bitch. Anisa is a bitch. Dude, I don't know anything about her. But I know enough.
She didn't want any of us there. She only wanted like creators there or people that would, I guess, make her feel like she could get more clout. So she told us we didn't have to come to the event. She doesn't know why we would want to be at the event. And I said, what's the event for? Yeah. And she said, and it's an award show. And I said, what are the awards for? And she said, they're awards for the boxing. And I said, why wouldn't his coach want to be there? Why wouldn't his team want to be there? I was like, that makes no sense. So everybody else, all the other coaches I talked to, I said, hey, did you guys know about the gala? They said, yeah. I said, did you bring a suit for it? And all of them had freaking like 3-piece suits with like kerchiefs and everything. I had sweatpants. I'm like, what?
Dude, that's so messed up. Why? It's like,
dude. They've really shafted the coach guy, man. Holy hell.
You're the guy connected with the event organizers, and they're explicitly excluding you guys.
I know why. I honestly believe that the reason why Ian and Anisa excluded us and did not want us to know about the gala is because we're both very professional, we're both very direct, and very transparent. If they told us that they were going to throw a huge gala after the fight and it was going to cost a ton of money, we would have asked them, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
because Anisa already told us, she shared with us prior to CC2, like a month before, that they were negative, was it 500K already?
Yeah, at the time.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah. They're already in the negative. They don't care.
Say that again.
They were negative 500K before the event.
Yes.
So going up to the event with the ticket sales and the PPV sales, when the event started, they knew.
Oh, I hear what you mean, WBizzits. Hey, I don't cover this much. I wanted to get a little bit of this here. First off, to enlighten me, I would watch this part because I'm curious what that organizer, what that trainer has to say.
They were down $500,000.
Yes.
Keep in mind that they moved to a bigger venue and they sold a lot of tickets. But before the event had started, they said we're fine. So the reason we found this out was because I wanted Ian to start doing 2 training sessions a day. And I said, Ian, you need to start doing 2-a-days. And he was like, why should I do 2-a-days? And I told him, I was like, Ian, you're not good at boxing, man.
Yeah,
my brand is at stake. So you need to do 2-a-days. That's what pro boxers do. And so I told him.
Wait, did you actually say that to him?
Yeah, yes. And then I told him, I said, my brand is on the line. I said, you can go back to YouTube. My whole life is fighting and coaching fighters. And I'm like, so if you don't have a good performance, that's going to look bad on me. After the first event, for the first event, he didn't do any of his cardio. So that's why I ended up gassing out so bad.
Holy dude. It's like he didn't even care.
And I truthfully believe if he would have just done his freaking cardio, that he would have won that fight. But they couldn't do the cardio because 10 weeks before the first event, Anisa wanted them to buy a house. So instead of doing 2 training sessions a day at that point, they had to cut out training to go look to buy a house. And he moved into his new house the week before we left to Florida. So he literally wasn't training like he was supposed to for that whole first event because they wanted to go buy a house when they could have just rented a place for 6
Dude, this means it's actually quite possible that Andy Warski did more training for his boxing match with Salt Poppy than Ian did for his boxing thing. Not that it worked well for Andy. I mean, he got punched He got knocked out within like what, 10 seconds or something like that, right? It was very quick.
6 months or a year, and then Ian could have focused on the fight, had the fight, and then found a new place. So I found that super offensive. I'm like, you're not doing anything, I'm telling you. And they would lie to me, and he would tell me he was doing his road work.
They would lie?
Of course he would lie to you. Like he treated you like he did with the bonus money, right?
Why would he lie? That's like lying to your doctor.
It made no sense because he acted like I told him to do things because I wanted him to do them. And I really wanted him to do things because that would help him win the fight.
Yeah.
So when I tell him, hey, you need to do this, he'd be like, and then not really do it. He didn't realize how important cardio was until his second fight.
What do you mean he didn't realize how important cardio is? That's like the entire thing. Yeah, that's everything. That's the whole thing.
It literally is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hearing all this, strikes me as ironic because he was always, and Anisa, going on about how they hold boxing in such high esteem and they want everyone to train.
That's right. That's right. They do. They say that on their stupid podcast.
And this is life or death. This is serious. You get in the ring and people die in the ring. And and hearing him speak so loftily and respectfully about boxing, but then he's like, oh yeah, no, I lied to my trainer about running. It's like, what?
Yeah, it really, I mean, actions speak louder than words there. I mean, he could say he loves boxing and holds it to a high esteem, whatever. But, like, if he's not actually going to put in the work, he doesn't think it's important, then it's really not important to him, point blank.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that was them regurgitating what I would say. A lot of it, when I would tell them things about boxing, they would go repeat those things. I don't know how much of it was like them actually believing it. But so for that second event, so I tell him he needs to do 2-a-days.
They didn't believe any of it. They just parroted him just to sound good. That's it.
This is like 2 weeks before the fight. I'm like, we need to do your 2-a-days. And I said, my brand is at stake. Well, he went and told Anisa that I told him my brand was at stake. So the next day she comes into the gym super mad. And she's like, our brand is at stake. We're $500,000 in the hole right now.
Wow.
I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that at that time. I think a lot of the fighters would have liked to have known that. I don't think none of them needed to be in the dark about that, you know?
Yes, completely. Well, and that's the thing. They said you guys didn't promote enough, but they weren't honest about the fact that they were spending the money from the ticket sales on the hotel, on flying people in, on all these other things. So it was just like,
so those decisions, the gala decisions, were made while in the red.
Yes. Absolutely. Dude, just burning through cash. I'll do a few more minutes of this and we might shift gears. I'll let Chat decide. Chat, do you want to stay on this or do we want to go into the Thorp stuff?
No shot about that. So she was like, we're already down 500,000, and she still had time to cancel stuff when she said that. Like, how before the event was that?
Yeah. I mean, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks before the event. I mean, they
so
knew
she
they
could have made some last minute moves.
Hole.
Yeah,
they knew they were 500K in the hole long before that, right? That's just when they yelled at us about it.
Yeah.
So they could have definitely made moves to reduce spending.
Yeah. Not pay for them to fly out all their friends and pay for their hotel rooms and stuff like that. I mean, that's a unneeded expense right there.
She wanted that award show so bad the next day. They really, really wanted to have that award show so she could give out awards. Once again, you had heard, like Ian said, he didn't want to have the fight just end and have everybody go home the next day.
He said, I'll quote him because it's very rich. He says that the first time afterwards, he woke up and everybody was gone. And he found it super depressing because he didn't get a chance to process his trauma, which seems a little bit...
What? What trauma? A trauma of being punched in the face as a boxer? What?
Hyperbolic, frankly, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's like a self-inflicted charity event. I wouldn't call that exactly I wouldn't put that up with like maybe like fighting in a war. I don't know, but but I guess we all define trauma differently. But so he goes. So in that case, I wanted to throw a party afterwards where we could all talk to each other and process our trauma. And then he says,
"What a lame party." A party where you could talk to one another and process the trauma of being at a boxing event? What is this?
we lost money, but I don't regret throwing the after party.
Yeah, he said
I think that was a lot of her words, because like he would say things that she would say, and so for example, he said, "Well, we thought."
Oh, that's right. We got 10 likes. I'll take a shot for every 10 likes or for donation. Let me go and do that now. Yeah, if you guys want to stay on this, or if you want to switch to the Thorps, y'all let me know in the chat, okay? Why don't you shift to the Thorps? It'll probably be Thorps for the rest of the night. Now, the Thorps didn't stream today, at least, when I checked before I started streaming. But we do have some spicy clips, and we do have something that's a bit of a curveball that happens on Ruby's stream. Ben Thorp, Grace Thorp and Ben Thorp might be doing a truce. The Dorps, all right, we're going Dorps because I think we got everything we needed from this. I think we did. Okay. No, it just gets worse and worse for them, doesn't it? Okay. Well, let me go and take this shot. And this shot's actually going to prepare me. Okay, hold on here. All right. Taking this shot for the 10 likes. May we get more. And also, in addition, this shot is for a good Tuesday. Hopefully, your Tuesday is good for you. There we go. Oh, that was tough. All right. We're good. I'm good. That's just shot number 1. Man, I'm becoming like a lightweight or something. Maybe it's the medication I'm on. Okay, anyway. So I'm going to start right here. The reason I'm going to start in this middle part, and we will go back and get some context, but I want to start with the banger here, okay? You'll not believe this. Grace and Ben Thorp and Ruby, they've been at odds with one another for some time. For good reasons, especially on Ruby's side. Okay? But they're going to make peace. So Ben appears on Ruby's stream.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going real well, and I did have a long conversation with Grace in which I did say, and she did follow through and say, like, this stuff, we don't have to get into it, but a lot of the stuff that she's done with you and we've done with you, it rides a line. It's totally unnecessary, and I can say whatever you want. Like, we have no intention of showing up in South Carolina, okay, and don't encourage anyone to do that. So that's sincere. I mean, I think we basically, like, it would be stupid. What would we even do? But
look at that. Ben appears on stream, on Ruby's stream, not to bombard her with more stories about using her dead brother, not to harass her in any sort of way, but to kind of in a way back off and kind of say things escalated too quickly, to kind of apologize in a way. What? I don't think I've ever heard Ben say that or even act like this. What's the angle here? And how does Ruby respond? Let's check this out.
Exactly. So I appreciate that, but I'm curious, what do you think about, so you didn't hear about this until you just saw me playing? I mean, this just happened. That episode, I believe, is still live. I was just watching it. And then when I saw...
All right. I'm going to let you know what the angle is. I mean, she's going to let you know right here, too. You see, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay? It's one of those situations.
whip up that scenario. I was like, this is too funny. I need to make a stream about this.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is it true? What? Tell us.
Well, I do think. Okay, so if I'll say this, I think is true as a streamer to streamer. We don't have to get personal. Keem has alienated some of the best talent that he has. Like you would have been. I always said you would have been great on that show. You're a queen. I've always everyone on their show said Grace should be on that show. She's a queen. Lynx has her own thing, a little different than you guys, but like she's a superstar. And then I actually predicted the Savage thing. I was like, she's too entertaining. He's gonna boot her. But now you've got all the stars off the show, and they're left with, I would say Becky's talented. You agree with that?
Hacks.
Yeah, they have some talent, but I agree. They're quickly alienating anyone who's like, because Popstar does have a lot of talent, but it's like they just lay down all these insane rules, and it's like, who would want to work with that? Also, when you have to say that you're not going to do any of your own individual streaming, that hurts you, Keem. You're creating an insular universe that's increasingly irrelevant.
Right. But as a streamer, like I was saying, when Savage, and I know you guys were shit talking each other, but you, Ava, Grace, and Savage, that was better than anything LCU puts out. I'm sorry. It just was. In terms of the quality.
Oh, yeah, that stream was. That stream was pretty brutal on Grace.
Entertainment. And I understand like there was some personal stuff, but if that can be gotten over and like I would just say that like women have a way in which they want to make the bag. Like then I don't know that they care as much about like looking good as getting the bag. Whereas Keem seems like he just wants to look good and he doesn't care how much real talent he alienates. So I think, it is kind of interesting that, like, in a certain sense, the Voldemorts actually rule their...
Okay, some context is going to be needed here. What I did not show you, what they did not say, reveal yet, and I don't know if they will. I don't know how long it's going to take before we get to that. Here's the context. There's a person named Pupstar who is part of this Locale Dolls. What's Locale Dolls? It's another one of those Locale live sister channels. You have Locale Queens, you got Locale Milkers, and then you have Locale Dolls. Locale Dolls is like Locale Live, but for Teen Vogue, for teenage girls. So are you interested? No, you're not, unless you're Spicoli. If you're Spicoli, you're very interested for the wrong reasons. Okay? Now, the thing here is Pupstar was on that show, and she was essentially fired off that show because they think, by I say they, Keemstar and the people running it, believe that Pupstar is Ben's puppet. What? That's right. They're so paranoid. Lord Tyrant King Keem is so paranoid and so afraid of Ben Thorp and Grace Thorp. Anyone that is ever caught crossing paths in the slightest, it could be on a dating panel with the Thorps, is seen to be an associate with the Thorps or of the Thorps. Does that seem not insane to you? No, it's very insane to you, right? It's like, what kind of delusional thinking are you engaging in, Keem? So Pupstar, at one point in time, appeared on a dating panel. And guess who was there? Well, Ben Thorp, as he normally is on these dating panels, because he's looking for a new wife. Okay? I don't know what sort of interaction they had, but that's about the extent of it. But the Locale Dolls and Keem would have you believe, but no, Pupstar is working with Ben Thorp as some sort of secret troll, like a Trojan horse thing, okay? To kind of get in there and mess things up. And what does that tell you about Keem? That he's so afraid of Ben Thorp and Grace Thorp that even uttering the name is forbidden. You can't even say the name. That's not power. That's not strength. That's weakness. If you can't say someone's name, that means you fear it. That means you fear that name. And if that's where you are, that thing you fear, that person you fear, the family you fear, here, Ben and Grace, have power over you. And that's just a fact. So let this be known. Keemstar is essentially Ben Thorp's bitch. That's right. Ben Thorp and Grace Thorp have essentially bent over Keemstar and have sodomized him and continue to do so in his nightmares. After all, that's why they have to call him Voldemort. Voldemort, a Harry Potter reference. They have to treat them like the thing that cannot be named. They're that taboo. They're so forbidden. You cannot even say the name. Now I'll continue to play this now that you have the context.
Because actually, I never read Harry Potter, but isn't it true that like by calling someone Voldemort, you give them more power? Isn't that even true within Harry Potter?
It's crazy. Like,
no script, by the way. That was on top of my head.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Well, it depends who it's productive for. But if you're rooting for the LCU, then you would say it's counterproductive. But if you're actually saying like, well, you could set up an alternative LCU, go head to head with them and take all their viewers, then it's quite productive. You know what I mean? Like every negative thing has a positive thing to it. And I think Shitucky, as far as Pupstar, I interact with her for a couple of minutes. I'm not going to say right here and now whether I do have a relationship with her beyond that, but like,
whoa,
maybe.
Could there be some weird, I don't know about weird, but could there be a relationship there?
Yeah, I do. Because I have had a lot of interactions with Black YouTube, and I have encouraged a lot of Black YouTubers to get into the Lolcow sphere. They have a really hard time, but Pupstar is not as hesitant. And I know as a white, it's not so much Black people are victims, but like any person who feels like an outsider, like when I was in the Blackosphere, it was tough. You know what I mean? You're treated differently. And so to be like immediately so judgmental about, especially I think a 19-year-old girl, I mean, who doesn't seem to be that like crazy of a person at all. But on top of it,
like in school, she has her life like very together, and she's obviously very competent and would, be good in that universe to the point where I think he needs to at least see like if there's someone who's really talented, maybe give them a longer leash. Okay. If you're going to run this whole cult operation, but he won't even do that.
If you're bringing if the audience is mostly male, which it is, I mean, she's a very attractive woman.
Beautiful, big boobs out, like everything they're looking for. She is, except they can't control her. But that's why
they can't control her. Akeem can't have that. Keemstar needs to be able to control the ladies. Oh, is that Hurricane Poirot? You try to put the word in the sentence and doesn't show? I don't know. I don't have any banned words on this channel. I don't think anyway. I just shouldn't.
It's like they don't get that. Like,
right. And I agree. Like, and also I would imagine just he would be normally looking for like a Black demographic. If you want Black guys to come to your channel, well, you can't do better than her because she's she's a very attractive and also very feminine Black woman. She doesn't have the attitude that you sometimes get, like where it's just like a kind of stereotype, like ghetto mama. She's like very normal, but whatever. So it's really stupid. But so why not? Like you were saying, I think you have this sort of mind. You could see like where there's an opportunity when someone's doing something stupid, who should be shut down because he's a terrible person. Why not troll it? And I don't know.
Well, you guys were doing that, and then you guys went way too far with it, and then there was the consequences. Like I think driving to Fat Camp was like too far, even though I hate Keemstar, and I did think there were some funny moments that came out of it. At the end of the day, I just think it's.
Oh no, it was funny. Yeah, it was worth it. It was good.
It ultimately didn't. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it to go to those.
I would say it was successful.
And you guys were with the Local Rejects original. I think that, and even like Becky said, she would watch that show. The hosts were watching your show.
That's true. At one point in time, the Thorps had a rival local live channel, and they were doing that, and that was good for them. They were at their peak then. But then it started changing. They got tired of it or something.
Oh, so why did you guys? Why'd you stop doing that kind of coverage?
Yeah, actually, I think you could give we were like anti-lolcow. We did pretty well, but I do think like you said, like if you've manufactured drama, it gets old, and we didn't really care that much about lolcow live. You know what I mean? We weren't part of it that much. And so at a certain point, we felt like we had to milk drama, and that wasn't really fair to the audience. You know what I mean? And some of it is so stupid, honestly. Could you imagine reviewing a lot of the stuff? It's just, are they fired or not? You know what I mean? It's like,
it's hard.
How many times can you have that conversation?
Yeah, see, and that's why I can't really watch the local stuff, because it's like the whole, like, are they fired? Are they not fired? It's the same thing over and over. And I'm like, what's the point?
Station and take it seriously before you just say. But there are occasionally interesting things that happen. I also think Boogie is a really great performer. I actually think between Boogie and Becky, they're the whole like quality that remains. Everyone else is sort of garbage, except Keemstar is himself the biggest lolcow. I think he makes Boogie look like a healthy human being in comparison.
I do think that he's the best.
It is funny coming from Ben. I'm so sorry. It's a little funny.
And I watch for the Keem lolcow moments, especially between the dynamic between him and Becky is kind of interesting. And they have so much drama and like weird tension. And it's the things that go off the rails in that way that make it interesting. But Keem,
because that's sort of real.
We'll never see himself that way. That's
off the leash. She's not controllable. I don't know how she made it through, but I guess I don't know. Like, I think he can't. Boogie's not that controllable either. And he knows if he lets go of either of them, like, that channel is dead. If you have Tina on there just yelling and screaming, it's going to be boring. And then, like, you literally would just have Keemstar on the lolcow live channel and Rostov. I mean,
so Rostov injured himself. I was going to watch another clip of Rostov. I think it's Keem has a fetish for watching huge autistic men do jumping jacks. They were begging Rostov to do jumping jacks, but he had a sprained leg or something. He gets up. This guy's 400 pounds. He does one jumping jack. You hear and his knee pops and he falls.
Oh, man, that's nasty. Oh,
around screaming.
Yeah.
And of course, Psychopath Keemstar's like, he's faking. And like, he stops the stream. I don't think he's faking because I heard the pop and other people did too, but it's deranged.
Well, the interesting thing, if you were to rewind way back, when I think what's his name was still on the show, the other fat guy, Wings of Redemption, and there's a quote, Grace.
Man, the best part about Wings of Redemption is when he got into a fight with Keem and threw down his wife, dude. They should have given him a raise for that. That was great. I don't know why they fired him for that. That's good stuff, man.
Clipped it where he's like, I get it. I'm making all the wrong moves. Let me fail. And he is actually failing. I mean, if you look at the numbers.
He says that often. He says it more and more. He copes more and more about why the numbers are down. He's like, on Saturdays in the summer, everyone's outside. And, you're not really getting coverage unless you're, talking about I
want to take this. Look at this. Ruby and Ben are getting along. I mean, is this Truce going to be for real?
Dubs and like, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's like, dude, the more you say this, the more it just highlights that the numbers are going down. But then he's like pulling and pushing for more and more donations and donating to himself more and more just to make the numbers inflated. He doesn't, it's like, it's all about creating this illusion of Keemstar, the success. And like,
and I mean, I do have to give him credit, whatever it was, whether it was the timing or whatever. He has a certain eye for things, that are interesting.
Absolutely. He has his talent to manage to, maintain relevancy for this long, have some successful shows, but like a lot of his success is tied to his failure. That's why he's not afraid to fail, because he's just like, drama is drama. You know, no matter what, it's good. It's good if everything goes bad. And like, I just don't know if that's gonna work forever, but it has worked for a while.
Yeah, but actually, drama is drama unless it's pointed at him, and then he gets rid of it. You know, and that's the problem, because it will always get pointed at him. Yeah. So I don't know.
I want to see if they mention anything more about the truce.
It'd be interesting. I would love to talk to Pupstar. Maybe I already do, but like, I would either love to continue talking with her or whatever, because once
we get that too, Ben is still talking with Pupstar. Okay.
You find someone who's willing to like, once you find someone who's willing to say like, you know what, I'm not hoping to eventually get hired. I think we can make it on our own. And I mean that not just her, but you, Grace, Lynx, Savage, and just put aside everything else and just go for the bag and don't worry about the personal shit. Like, it's guaranteed to win. You've got more, like, I've always said this about you. You've got more talent in your little finger than 90% of the.
Okay, chat. I put a poll there. Is Ben working with Pupstar? Let me make that a little bit more understandable, what I'm asking. Is Ben working with Pupstar as a rogue agent to sneak into the Keemstar universe to mess things up? Because that's what Keemstar and those other clowns believe. And at this point, I want them to fear it. I want them to fear that reality. I want to say yes. I want to say yes, that was what was happening. That also begs the question, has Ben been playing this long game with Pupstar? Like, this whole time messing around in LA and all this other stuff, was there like a background play? A plan to get back at Keemstar?
Cast. I would say Becky's legit, and I would say Boogie's legit, but I think they will.
No, Becky's not legit. She did not drink that hot sauce. That was not hot sauce she drank. Okay?
They'd leave for greener pastures at this point, because I don't think the money's really that good, and the humiliation and stuff, it's a high price to pay.
It's, they pay with their whole lives just become about this, you know, and Keem just needs more and more control. It seems like a 24/7 thing. I don't know if you saw, I can play a clip of Glammy had this like insane.
I did see that.
Did you see that? Okay.
It was fun. I mean, it was funny, but I feel bad for her. But like, that's kind of Keno. I get how putting someone in that position is funny, and she's being a lol cow because she's too sincere and she doesn't get that like this is a ridiculous thing to get upset about.
Way too into it, but it's like,
but
Keem
also
knows
as a human being,
people, you know, like.
But also as a human being, like, yeah, she's legit. Like, the screws aren't all there. She's like way too into it, and they're just exploiting it for laughs. And it's sadistic. That is sadistic. I don't think that's healthy to do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I don't think they have to. If they just let people be crazy and be on these shows and just be themselves, the drama will happen. It'll be more drama than you want.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree.
You just gotta have to let them be natural. Let them be themselves, man.
Fakeness, it just delegitimizes stuff, and I just don't get it. But obviously, there's something there. There's thousands of people watching. They are paying, even though it's going down. There's still those thousands of people there. They're still paying. I just want to understand. I just want to understand.
I mean, if you look at like when we went down to Texas, I get it. We were in some ways trolling them, but actually the more interesting content was just getting to know the area and the people in the area. And they could have done that just as easily as we could have done it.
Yeah.
But they just keep everything. I hate to use the word, but like it's kind of incestuous, right? It has to be.
Well, I don't know if you hate to use the word, Ben. I think you kind of like that word.
Only people that you completely control. And then you have to make shit up to keep it going. And then some of it's real. A lot of it is real, but it gets old. But I guess there's an audience for it. So you've got to, I guess you got to give them props. But it is dwindling.
Yeah.
So I think something could happen from the outside that could open it up. And I think Keemstar would actually lean into it at a certain point because he does like to win in the end, even at his own expense. So... I don't know. It's just something to think about because I really don't. I've heard you kind of making overtures to say, like, let's have a truce. And I think just as streamers, even if you say, like, oh, I personally, whatever.
Or truce talk.
As streamers, like, you know, both of our audiences are kind of bored at this point with just the same old shit. So, I mean.
Yeah, I'm Truce, or like, pivot, we can be competitive, but I just like, we can just put away, I'm not going to try to like call anything around you guys. You don't call anything around mine. Don't fuck with our trip. You can restream it, make the, I'm sure, you can mock the hell out of everything you do. That's all fine. Just no real stuff.
I'd rather have us work together. And then if we have a common enemy, and it's not really an enemy, but like if we we could, instead of like we end up plateauing, both of us end up plateauing at a certain point. If you take on a bigger fish together, I think we could both succeed. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be at their expense. I honestly think if we were able to troll LolCow live, they would benefit from it. They would have benefited if they had interacted with us when they were there more. But, I get it. They want the control. So, anyways.
All right. Well, I wanted to go back to the clip, and it cut out there for a sec. But, all right.
Our Ben's going to leave.
Well, thank you for being cordial. I appreciate the IRL truce. Be, critical, whatever. But anyway. Peaceful times moving forward, okay?
Take care, Ruby.
All right, bye.
There you have it. We played the whole thing. We played the whole thing there, the Ben part of it. Like I said, Ben was actually the best part of this stream. This truce, is this real? Are they actually going to be able to work together? Ben and Grace Thorp work with Ruby. I mean, both sides have gone very personal. Very personal. Well, like Ben said, I mean, he's not really playing chess here. He's revealing his moves. He's playing checkers. It's like you know what's going to happen. You know what it is. You know what the move is going to be. He's letting you know. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There's a common enemy. Well, sort of. It's Keemstar. It's always really been Keemstar if you think about it. He's the bigger fish. And now they have like this energy to kind of create like this. I think there's an idea here to create another locale rival using Puffstar. Is Ben gonna create his own little locale rival show? Is he really just gonna be the man behind it and not actually be on there? Or is he gonna just be on there every now? What? And is Ruby really going to collab? Because that would actually require collaborating with Ben Thorp and Grace Thorp. Can they keep it together long enough to actually create one episode? Just one episode of that. I got to tell you, I don't know who this Puffstar is, but if it's someone that spicy that Keemstar can't control, then you combine her with Grace, and you combine her with the Savage Lady. You combine her with some other like high energy, kind of drama intense women. Oh, okay, that could be a show. I'll watch that. Oh, I would definitely watch it for real. I kind of want to take a shot for this. I think it's called for. A little toast. The Thorps probably see me as an enemy. I'm not an enemy. I'm just a guy, just a dude streaming in a shed that likes to talk about this stuff. Okay? That's what I am. Here's my toast. May there be success and the new direction of Ruby and Thorps combined. May they take on Keem and have success doing that. Okay. That was good. That was good. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the energy here. What do y'all think? Okay. Now, I can either watch this stream without Ruby's commentary or watch it with Ruby's commentary. Okay. Oh, actually, let's get some spicy Thorp clips. Spicy Thorp clips. And by the way, actually, let me do something real fast. If you guys are watching, feel free to say something in the chat, chime in, whatever you guys want to do. If you guys have some clips for me or something else, feel free to share that as well. Without Ruby's commentary? Okay. I do have that video saved. We could check that out. Dead air. Lots of dead air. Here we go.
Because
I found it. This is the stream where they talk about Pup Star. Okay. Now this is Locale Dolls, okay? We wouldn't normally watch this sort of thing. It's not our sort of thing. Right? So before we do, let's watch a spicy Thorp clip. This is about Courtney Thorp, actually.
Should do the breastfeeding. It's crazy to do the other.
Yeah.
And also, like, your mother to some extent was fine. Your mother was actually one of the views of the whole thing. Like, much you could say, like, I fucked things up is like, she genuinely loved little babies and little kids.
Uh-oh. We're going to get spicy.
So she genuinely enjoyed changing your diapers because of the personal element to it.
Yeah. It's like having
and her
dogs,
whole thing
but
about
way
like
more
kissing
fun.
your brother's penises.
What?
While, it is like a little bit of an eyebrow raise.
What? You're just gonna brush that one? Oh, you're just gonna what? Courtney like to do what now?
Kids. So she genuinely enjoyed changing your diapers because of the personal element to it.
Yeah. It's like having
and her
dogs,
whole thing
but
about
way
like
more
kissing
fun.
your brother's penises. While, it is.
Did you hear that? Kissing your brother's penises. What? What? What?
Is like a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. Like, I don't really think
a little bit of an eyebrow raiser
about that. It was a little off, but like it wasn't really like.
Are you sure she was kissing the penis, or was she just like blowing on the belly button, making him laugh? Like, what?
Genuinely enjoyed changing your diapers because of the personal element to it.
Yeah. It's like having
and her
dogs,
whole thing
but
about
way
like
more
kissing
fun.
your brother's penises. While, it is like a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. Like, I don't really think there was much about that. It was a little off, but like it wasn't really like
a little off. You don't say. Yeah, that's way off. I've had kids. I've have 2 kids. They were babies once. Never once did I or my wife ever kiss any penises, any baby penises. We would not do that. Disgusting. Courtney, if that's true, shame on you. No excuse. No excuse whatsoever.
Threat to me than threat.
Okay, here we go. Is this the death of a star? Here we go. Let's play this. We're just going to get into this here. SoCal Dolls.
See, Meanie Beanie or Nice Beanie? Mind you, Meanie Beanie and Beanie Baby is the nicknames that I gave you. You can try as hard as you want, Beans, but you
Okay, so that's Pup Star right there in the bottom.
can't extract the parts of my personality that you love. Because we all know you do it. Like that flower in your name, you just put that there. Anyways, if I want to make it an insult, I would say you drive everyone away because you're a psycho bitch that no one likes. Age people like garbage and smiles in their face with your fake-ass online personality. Use that AI you got to compute how to be more likable. Compute how to be like you, all innocent, all sweet, so nice. What happened to the goody two-shoes girl that we saw in cafe? Or was that just a LARP and now you're this mean, feisty, fierce, empowered woman? And our lovely audience and our deadliest delinquent.
This was a that's right. This is a PowerPoint presentation that this Pup Star put together. A PowerPoint presentation.
We have Black, White, Belladonna, and John Pork Milkers. Mr. John Milkers. You crawled out of a hole where no one has seen you from just to hop in VC and hop on me. And that's fine. But don't hate me just because you have male fantasies of getting pregnant by Mr. Twiggy, i.e. you already have the build. Happy Pride Month, bro. Happy Pride Month. John Pork is calling. Who's going to pick up? Not Keem. Don't worry about John. He's a notorious dick. Keem and I used to be cool with him and buddy, but he fucked up. Yeah, I bet you did fuck up, B. I bet you did fuck up, John. So don't be mad at me. And Cookout Carol. I want to say you're becoming a favorite of mine, but I have to ask you something. How do you feel about black folk giving non-black folk the N-word pass? Well, she sure as shit told me how I feel. So you're against it? Because my boyfriend is black and his parents are black and they fought in the civil rights movement. My father-in-law served this country in the army for 25 years but got hosed down for journeying on to white-only beaches and makes me so angry because they work so hard for younger generations now to have it easier and just casually give away the N-word pass. It pisses me off, it pisses her partner off, and her partner says anyone who does so is uninvited from the cookout. Thank you, Belladonna. Thank you, Cookout Carol. Hashtag BLM, we love you.
Can I ask one question, Pup?
Yes.
Okay, wait, this might be like two technically. Might have a follow-up. So, okay, wait, this slideshow, it started and we were saying who's the meanest doll of them all. And then we got to Black Belladonna. Is she on the list?
Who's the most dramatic doll? I mean, look, this is an inclusive list, y'all. We got the audience, we got me, we got Beans, we got Sweet Casinos, the doll, Loghouse dolls. We include everybody.
Man, I cannot. What? Okay, let's get to her getting kicked off.
Wait, I'm so confused right now. I'm so fucking confused. Am I on lack of sleep or what just happened? Can somebody explain?
Is she gonna miss another episode?
I think so.
Apparently. So real quick, Just Jessica, welcome to Cash Cow. Thank you so much. T Berry with the 5 said, Tammy, Pup Cup, you're only 19. No matter how righteously indignant you get, you will mostly be wrong. And we also have Living My Life. Thank you for becoming a Band World member. So she was told by Brandley, this whole episode is supposed to be about you. You have your time to shine. You do your PowerPoint. I thought it was going to be an in-depth PowerPoint, but what she did was take screenshots completely out of context, did not provide any background, and then try to paint me in a certain light. So 15 pages of a PowerPoint, went through it in like 5 minutes, and that was her whole shining star moment.
She didn't even have
Guys, I'll say this is like the worst locale show I think I've seen. I think the other thing I'm gonna ask here, guys, like, so wait, Keemstar's girlfriend or fiance is putting together a show of like that's supposed to be going for appealing to teeny boppers. Okay.
Way better evidence against you
I'm like
on there.
Losing my fucking sanity right now. Okay, I'm about to fucking crash out. I'm about to crash out over this shit. I have been roped into this fucking shit, and I was expecting some big blowout fight today or something, right? Everyone's like hyping this up. We're like, oh yeah, like this fucking stupid fucking PowerPoint I've heard about for like the past fucking 2 days of my life, right? I'm thinking this PowerPoint is about to be some crazy fucking deep dive expose or some shit. It's about to get Beans good, bro. This is gonna be some shit. I was at least entertained and excited to sit here and watch this shit. And now
Turtle
what
super chatted $10.20. I am sorry. What is this content?
Turtle, I would love to fucking tell you the answer to that fucking question, but I don't think anybody even knows what the fuck just happened. Everybody just tried to let Pup do her thing, and then she just fucking dipped. So I'm just really confused what the point of the PowerPoint was, to say that Beans doesn't want drama, and then she did say she wants... She's on a drama show. She doesn't want drama in her personal life. She's gonna do drama on her show. Okay, sorry.
That was like the least
ever. Pupstar's gonna work with Grace now.
Oh, crazy. Even without context, Zay knew exactly what was going on in that conversation. That is fucking wild. But the fact that we expected something like Zay level fucking Grim, you know, what you did on Grim that one time after our whole breakup, I was expecting that. I was expecting clips, screenshots, context, everything of the sort. She started dragging in members of the Discord that have nothing to do with the drama. Nothing at all. And then all she did was provide a screenshot, and then for Sweet Tea, all she said was she had 2 boyfriends.
Yeah, she didn't even show anything I said bad.
Yeah,
what's wrong? Was it not roast enough? Like, is the problem they wanted Pupstar to be more fiery in her roast? You know, she was organized with a PowerPoint presentation. Okay.
Sweet Tea's like, I've said way worse shit than that.
I really have. I was surprised.
I'm not gonna lie, you're funny as fuck for that. I'm just...
Dude, I thought she wasn't gonna be here today. I thought she was gonna quit. I really did.
Did she just quit? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Because is she not finishing out the episode? Because how many episodes are you allowed to take off before it's a problem?
Yeah. Oh my god.
So we have
at some point they do mention
with the 2 that said when you drop
they do mention her association with the one who would not be named.
Mic and it drops on your foot. We have Bridge Troll with the 2. Quitting via PowerPoint is wild. Megan Rowland 199. This is not school. Pupstar learn to separate it. Cullivar with the 2. Bread Tube comes to Lolcow Dolls. We love Beansy. We have Butt Smack with the 5. I didn't want to interrupt the presentation. Sad Pup left. I hope she will come back. Are you guys going to react to her presentation point by point? Did she send you the presentation at all, or did she just...
No.
Oh, she just left.
Just shared her
She's done.
This is another thing that we talked about with Pupstar. Pupstar has no regard for anybody but herself, and it's been very apparent, and she just proved it right now. I could have ran OBS.
Oh, so now they're going to be all so catty and talk about Pupstar now that she's gone. Okay.
If that was all that was going to happen, I could have ran OBS. Zay was up till 4 a.m., and she's probably tired, and she's taking time out of her day, 2 hours worth of time out of her day, to do this shit. You wasted her time. She's tired. She's probably hungry. She probably has a million things to do, and you just wasted her time. You wasted our time. You wasted the audience's time, because we could have prepared for content. We were told to sit back and not do anything. We were told to let you handle...
I feel like I've seen this episode before on Lolcow Queens. I feel like it has the same points.
The whole episode. And what did you do? 15-page PowerPoint that you went through in 8 minutes. Actually, less.
I swear, if they say docket, I'm taking a shot.
5, because you were asking for questions. What type of content creator are you?
I'm so confused. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to rationalize it, right? Because when we were in the fucking VC the other night, now I'm just going to fucking air it all out. I don't give a fuck.
How old are these people?
So I'm in the VC the other night. I started talking about this on Nerds the other night. I'm in fucking Rewind VC just like talking to Xylee, and Brantley comes in and she was visibly upset, and she's like, Zay, can you come over to Dolls? See, I was thinking I was in trouble because Brantley looked mad, right? So I get in there, Pupstar's already fucking screaming. And it just turns into a fucking screaming match between Pup and Brantley. At one point in time, even I jumped in and started screaming because I was like, y'all just can't fucking... There's no conversation here. It's just 2 people screaming. Like, not even a single word was getting out. But they're just screaming back and forth because Pup, in this VC, was saying she wanted to do this PowerPoint that she just showed us from very start to very finish with no interruptions. Us having not seen the PowerPoint, I didn't know how many slides it was. I didn't know anything, whatever. In my head, I'm thinking, like, a PowerPoint is probably not the best content, you know, for your show, just to do start to finish. Not. So I suggested that after each slide, she stops and lets either one of you guys respond, because it's going to be involving you guys. It's going to be about you guys. You might want to respond to it. And that is what turned into this entire fucking blow up thing because she was very insistent that she had to do the PowerPoint from start to finish so she could get her points across. But then we let her do the PowerPoint from start to finish. And then where were the points? What was the point? I'm trying to figure out in the PowerPoint what we were showing.
And like Black Belladonna, she didn't have anything to do with it. That confused me.
I'm surprised she didn't add the steak in there. I'm surprised she didn't add AMAC because she also had a problem with those people. Those people are not hosts either. Real quick, we have Mr. Boom Boom Pow with the $1.99. Don't forget that she spent 6 hours on that. AMAC Talking Smack, $5. What?
She spent 6 hours on a PowerPoint presentation for this? Man, I don't even spend 30 minutes on a PowerPoint presentation for work. You know?
What a weak.
Damn.
What a weak bitch snatch to show us that mess, then bounce like that, especially at the end. Humble? What? Dixon Nass with the 2. Pup will drag you down, Beans. Vibe is better now. Mayhem Destruct, which is part of our Docket team with the 2.
Oh, they said Docket. They said Docket. I have to take a shot. Let's mix it. Let's do a shot. Let's do some Jaeger too.
Petition time. Bye bye Pup Pup. We have Rot, also part of our Docket team. I lost respect for Pup. Love you, Beans, Zay, and Sweet Tea.
Oh.
In response to Mr. Boom Boom Pow, I fucking forgot about that. Like, y'all are about to make me crash out in these donuts too because Mr. Boom Boom Pow was in that fucking call where this shit was going down with Brantley. And she said...
All right, I'm not taking a shot for every time they say Docket, but they said Docket. So I'm taking a shot because they said Docket. I swear. You watch one locale show, you've seen them all. They're like the same like things-ish or whatever.
She was so mad because she felt like her work was going to waste because she spent 6 hours on that PowerPoint. 6 hours where?
There you go.
6 hours on what? Getting 2 screenshots for 6 hours? Because I'm losing my mind, bro. I was up until 5 in the fucking morning for this. Oh my god.
She could have had every message that either one of us ever sent in that time, almost.
Oh wait, so I have a question. So did she just quit? Like what? Like first of all, Zay Zutich running the OBS. Why? Because for that?
She acted like it was going to be a knockdown blowout thing, and she needed someone to run OBS. And
bro, I got up early to watch this.
I think off screen. Who's that? I think that's is that Brentley?
Yeah.
Oh. Miss Xylee gets real. Decided to wake up early for this.
Oh, Xylee. Okay.
That Xylee,
and then
the one with the receipts.
I put it in the side chat, but she obviously put it to music, and it's like, bro, it's like it was not even 2 minutes long. The whole thing itself, it's 1:15. She spent 6 hours on that.
Uh-huh.
And what does John and Black Belladonna have to do with it? I don't understand the connection with Black Belladonna at all. John, I can kind of see because he
jumped up on
stream.
Let's see if I can get to where they talk
about
her connections with the Thorps.
What was up with John? No, did she just quit? Can she come back?
Like
for what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
So let me.
It's a part.
Man and John Pork.
Again.
I legitimately. Yo, there is so much shit that I can say right now that I'm not going to. Thank you so much, RJ Cass, for the locale.
We might be getting into it here.
Balls gifted membership. This is so fucking aggravating.
I wonder if she made like a full PowerPoint and just like threw it away and made that last minute for some reason. Or if she really did spend all her time just making that.
So we legitimately have no content for today because we
your content is no content. Okay. Oh, thank you. That makes my job easy.
We're told to sit back, let her do everything. I had to let me actually pull up some of these conversations that we had together. This morning, God damn, she talks so damn much. This morning, are people texting me because of the situation?
She made the little thumbnail and everything and acted like...
Yeah, we're closer to the part now.
She pinged us. She said Zay needs a login for lolcow dolls. She doesn't understand anything of how the LCU works. Nobody has the login unless the only person that has the actual login to their YouTube channel is Ken, because he made it way before Keemstar even thought of lolcow. Well, he's the one that thought of lolcow cafe. He took the email, he did everything so he can secure it. He's the only person with the login. Everybody else, if you're on an LCU show, you're added as an editor, and that is done through your email. So no matter what, you don't have full access to the channel. So she asks me and she says, give Zay the login to lolcow dolls, or you can put in the group chat for future reference. At Brantley, it's needed info for today as everything else has been made yesterday. And I tell her she gets a stream key. She doesn't get logins. We all don't have the login. You get a stream key and that's basically it.
Okay.
No, wait. Something's off here. I think we might need to watch Ruby's one. Because they're dressed different here. Yeah. Ruby has the good stuff.
Would be so crazy, but they eat this up. The audience.
Let's back it up.
You did a.
So shifting gears, Ruby has the good stuff. Okay. She has that methadone stored, and we're gonna get some of that methadone. Okay.
Quote unquote mic drop moment. You're not even here to like see how it was received. You're not going to listen to.
That's the whole point of them. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying to roast beans. Okay. Not even trying to roast beans.
I know, but Ruby has the good stuff.
I don't want to roast beans.
The audience and get their criticism.
I just wonder, it's like, because they do blend fake and real drama, and I wonder if Keem was just like, all right, I need you to do this. Or like,
this
painted a picture of, I don't know. Like how they did.
Yeah. Your friend, she said so.
And I make that known, and now you're mad, first off. But
okay, so the previous episode we sampled, we played some, we had to bear through that. That was the PowerPoint. That was the last episode that Pupstar was on. All right, here we
this
go.
allegation come out where you're in servers like that makes you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, now we're talking about it. This is the real stuff without Ruby's commentary. Here we go.
Let's talk about something else other than her work ethic, which is trash. We also have to talk about the allegations that were made against her. So I did
allegations made against Pupstar, which is part of the reason why she's fired.
Agree with Xylee to a point yesterday on Rewind. If you're unaware, there was some things said yesterday. I got Glow up in here, and he said something along the lines of, "She
Hurricane Pyro, hey, I wanted some of that methadone. That's what I was aiming for." Dude, I could never do that stuff, man.
It's part of some servers that are not TOS friendly, to say the least. I
want to feel speed, man. No,
the content of the servers were so disgusting. He didn't even want to say it on live. He didn't want to say it. I had to basically. I was on Nerds. I was helping out Nerds. I felt really bad for Zay. Zay came in here. Her time was wasted because of Pupstar. So I went on Nerds to help her and buff Weeble out a little bit. On Nerds, I got a DM from somebody who said the type of servers that she was in allegedly were servers where people committed acts of self-harm for money or for attention or for whatever else. Xylee.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Xylee made that known on Rewind. Glow went in there again. He retold the story of her being in the VC with him, PETA, Boom, and a couple other people. And he confirmed it. He said, yeah, she said that she was in servers like that. He did also confirm that he never heard that part about people doing it for money. So that's a detail that's up in the air right now. But other than that, Xylee said you shouldn't take people's word at face value, right? Because they could have made that up. But the thing is, it came out of her own mouth in that VC. Her own mouth, heard by multiple people, and multiple people have confirmed. The details make it a little iffy, but the one detail that stood out to everybody was that she was allegedly in those servers Everybody heard it. So real quick, life of
Okay,
Riley.
so part of the allegation is that Pupstar is in a bunch of self-harm servers where they join circles and hold hands and they self-harm together? Like what? What? Hey, no problem. Oh, yeah, man. I like doing these streams, and that's what I like doing, man.
Riley, thank you for becoming a cash cow. And we also have Octoling in the beginning that gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much, Octoling.
Hey, I just appreciate the support. Thank you, CE. And thank you guys,
But let's go back to the topic at hand.
My wrap around what kind of like servers. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I don't know what they are or anything. And when the guy was initially explaining it, where he couldn't even say what it was, I thought maybe it was like normal, but I can see how he would not want to be saying that. Saying what it really was.
So the thing that makes this interesting is, so we had the whole story where 30 minutes before a live stream happened, she didn't like the thumbnail. She was very erratic about it. She was yelling at me. She was saying that she was going to self-harm and she was going to put me in the note. She was very upset that I said that, even though it's the truth, even though she did that to me. Wow, you hurt me in a way, and then I make that known, and now you're mad.
Oh, we're gonna get to it, man. But this stuff, we're gonna let it cook. We're gonna let it cook for a little bit here.
First off, but having this allegation come out where you're in servers like that makes you sound a little bad. It don't look right. It don't look right.
So I say KYS, the real words, in one of our streams before, and I thought that's weird that she has that in her vocab. She said it twice. And that's on one episode we had.
Yeah, but to be honest, if you're in online culture a lot, everybody knows that's a joke.
Yeah, you can
I
hear
don't
that
really
a
think
lot.
that you would say that. It all comes to tone. It comes to the person that you're talking to. Usually, especially with the younger people, I know that you're pushing 30. But when it comes to the younger people, like that, like KYS, or you drop a pencil and you're like, I'm gonna KMS myself. Like it's a joke because it's so
you're probably
outrageous, right?
I remember being a teenager and being pretty edgy like that. So yeah, I get it. I think
exactly. So she's 19. That is like the type of humor that younger people have nowadays. Even I use that sort of phrase every once in a while. But the thing is, she tried to walk it back so hard on live whenever I mentioned it. Like I said, tone matters. What you're doing in that moment matters. If you're crying about a thumbnail and you're acting erratic while driving on the phone with me, it don't seem like a joke. And you don't say that to your co-host in general. Somebody in chat, but before I get to that, Buttsmack ASMR with the 5. Good morning, ghouls and dolls. Sad to see Pup go since I finished her doll yesterday, but Beans is next. I'm still excited. Have a great show. Thank you so much, Buttsmack. And again, I'm so sorry that it had to come to something like this, but she had chances. She had multiple episodes. She had yesterday where she could have proved her stuff, but instead she made everybody hate her more. There's a way.
She was so liked. I mean, she just destroyed all the good face that she did to her, I feel like.
Exactly. You were so liked in the beginning. She's pretty. She can be smart.
There's really only one allegation that is probably the biggest one.
She can be very likable, whatever that personality was that she showed off that day. But she just didn't have it. She has it. She doesn't know how to use it. Because if she was smart, if she was smart like the other people in the LCU, you would know how to play into the hate. You would know how to use the hate for your benefit. That is the whole mission statement of the company. We profit off of the hate. If it's our own hate, if it's somebody else's hate, if anything of the sort.
Have you ever thought that maybe she's in all those self-harm servers because she's edgy and she wants to like enable them to like, do more? Maybe,
We have Riley, which is a cash cow. Hey, Bean, still waiting for my time slot. Oh, I think I know who this person is. This person DM'd me at one point. Hi, Riley. But again, Xylee contacted that person. I didn't include this person's name whenever I sent the screenshot. They did not want to be known, and that's completely understandable. This person, Xylee contacted this person. Hopefully today on Rewind, we'll get a little bit more clarification. We also have Mauricio Alvarez Leon. Welcome to Cash Cow. Thank you so much. We are not doing that well. Can we just address that? We aren't doing that well when it comes to numbers. That Saturday stream, though, fucking fire. Fucking fire. The amount of support that we got without Pupstar We had 50 gifteds thrown out. We had 20. We had people gifting just cuz. We had people helping the gray names, helping the poor. In general, it was a great stream. But it needs to be a great stream.
Are all the poor that they're helping?
And our episodes are not that bad. So what was the problem? Well, the problem was Pupstar. Surprise, surprise. Pupstar has been the problem since the beginning. So she picked a fight with Lord Rush himself, somebody who's a partner.
Okay.
She picked a fight with him, and people of the Discord did not like that.
And he almost said that he was going to stop subscribing to us over it. And that broke my heart when I heard that.
Lord Rush and I are pretty close. We've met in person. He's a really nice guy. And the fact that he wasn't going to watch anymore, or he wasn't going to support because of Pupstar, that was a big deal to me. Yeah. Other people in the Discord said that they weren't going to support Dolls because of what she said.
Okay.
And
she's
how
making
she's been
the cash cows angry.
Exactly. Now that she's gone, hopefully we can get a little bit more support rolling, especially because I went to her as
so she's antagonistic towards the cash cow. Okay. Yeah, that could be a problem for business.
I was like her older sister, and I said, Pupstar, please, just say an apology. He was trying to help you out, but you took it as an attack. That's your problem. But just do an apology and be sincere about it. What she said is, I don't have a problem with Lord Rush. Period. Send.
Oh my God. And he said that he had to sit through like 5 hours of her voice chats or whatever and listen to all that crazy crap she was talking about. And
Exactly. So real quick, we have Mr. Boom Boom Pow with the 2. Did somebody say help the poor? And then he did 5 local gifted memberships after that.
Wow,
hell yeah. Mr.
Let's
Boom
go.
Boom Pow. He's one of our biggest supporters, and I do appreciate him. Mal goes, sad, sad, sad. Yeah, Pupstar is very sad. Whenever she doesn't get her way, she puts on her little puppy dog face and she thinks she can get whatever she wants. That's not how it works, Pupstar. So she did her immature little apology skit, I guess. We still don't have the support that, that we needed. Then she started fucking up. People hated her because she kept fucking up. She wanted to blame me because she's fucking up. So what are we supposed to do?
You put so much time to help her too. You took so much time. I couldn't believe how much, like all those messages that were sent back and forth. You were trying to get her to calm down through most of them, and you were her friend beforehand. She considered you a friend. She said so herself. So you really tried. And I think that's cool.
I really tried. I really tried with her. I would be
guys. They really tried to keep this Pupstar person. They really didn't want to get rid of her.
On the phone with her for like hours. It would be me, Brantley Pup. We would be like the best gal pals of the LCU. And then she started poking and picking and nudging and give me more. And this is what I want.
Like a mean girl, right? Isn't she supposed to be the mean girl?
She's one of the quickest people to sign that contract. And not because Keemstar wanted to give her that contract. It's because every single day she would pester him about the contract until he sent it to her. So,
like a Grace sort of thing, right? Pestering about the contract.
I was wondering how she got it so fast.
She got it so fast.
Never really did much interning.
She didn't do much interning. Exactly. Why did she get that? Because she did her little puppy dog face and she said, Daddy Keemstar, can I please get a contract? That's what she did. And he folded so quickly. So she did that. She signed her contract. She wanted to get the bag real quick. And look where we ended up. How many weeks has it been? Chat? How many weeks has it been since Pupstar has had a show? And she's already basically out the door. So what I said before was true. I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. We just found out it's going to be sooner than we fucking thought.
Way sooner.
She's not even...
Sounds like she was too hot for you guys to handle.
Gone, I don't think. Like, nobody said she's fired from the LCU, but you see how quickly she gives up. She got her host role taken away during Queens, and she left the server. Didn't ask Keemstar what was going on, didn't ask Brantley what was going on, never contacted me, but as soon as that host role got taken away, she left the server. She gave up. Now that people hate her because of all her actions, she's not even here. She doesn't defend herself. She doesn't know how to talk shit.
Banned.
All she knows how to do is run her
I bet
fucking
she was
mouth.
Banned from the server.
So where are you, Pupstar? You want to show people what you got? Get on the fucking live. Do your fucking job. Do your fucking show.
You want to talk to us, just even if you're going to quit or if you want to stay. Either way, you could talk to us, and you never know what could happen.
She could have had such a good redemption arc.
Yeah, because especially after the Queen thing, because that wasn't, especially where she was new, that wasn't that big of a deal. If she was meaningful and everything, she could have got back past that, and people would have respected her for it.
Some people are saying if Pup comes back, a lot of viewers will leave. Do you know how many concurrent viewers we have right now at this moment?
636. Is that right?
645. Oh, it just changed. 654.
Damn.
Do you know how hard it is to keep viewership when your stream starts fucking up? Yesterday, whenever we started switching to OBS, you lose viewership. Whenever my power went out, you lose viewership. I expected us to go to 300. We were at 600 like we are now. I thought we were going to go back to 300.
They're doing
and
just
going
great
to stay
without
there
her.
stagnant.
So why are they worried about
We
it?
lost the viewership and we gained it back. We ended with about the same number that we have now, which is now 673. Remember, if you're here.
So it sounds like it's a cope stream and just a, I guess, and also trying to explain why she's not there, but also trying to make it seem like, oh, she can come back at any time, but she probably can't. She's probably banned.
Like, subscribe, drop a dono because I will read every single one if you have something to say about Puffstar. But yeah, so that's amazing. The fact that we can mess up in streaming and still have that viewership later on.
We just keep getting hit with hardships over and over and over again. The show just keeps getting hit with something.
And we don't fucking quit, and we never will fucking quit. That is the thing.
So.
I'm proud of you because you stuck it out. People hated you in the beginning. Now people like you. People like that you're talking more. You're still a little bit reserved. You're still a little bit laid back. But in general, you are coming out of your shell. People want you more than they want Poop Star. More than they want Pup Cunt over here. You are dolls now.
The total opposite at first too. So I mean, it's wild how fast things can change and how you can grow here if you really want to.
It sounds like to me they got rid of the girl that was actually being the mean girl, what they needed here, because this just seems like cope to me.
Exactly.
And I really want to. I'm going to try my best and make you guys proud.
Exactly. And that's the fucking energy that you have to have every single fucking day. So Peg Marmalade with the $4.99. It's nice to see Sweet Tea be able to show her personality without Pup around. You two have a good vibe. Beans and Sweet Tea W. Exactly. So you have your own lovers who used to be haters.
They were intimidated by her.
To me, I was on Nerds yesterday. I was having a fucking blast. At the end, I was fucking tired as shit because I was emotionally drained from everything happening. But I had a good time on Nerds. Who fucking thought?
I was watching you. You were really doing good.
The Zay Zooted and Beans collab. I started doing the hot dog dance and everything. People were saying
I love that little Yoshi.
The little Yoshi and the little hot dog dance.
They're so cute. We should come up with some kind of cute dance to do too.
We should. But like that's the whole point. People started saying that Pup only came into this universe so like I can mend like my relationship with Zay. I think our relationship started mending after the whole Grim thing and the whole Pup thing. Real quick, we have CC Corinthos with a 5. Pup can't take it. She's not cut out for the LCU, and her boring nonsense.
Because the part that we're really looking for is right here. They start building it up, building up to it right about here, I think.
And then we have Mayhem with the 2 W's in chat for Beans and Pupstar. What do you mean Pupstar? You mean Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea is here. Pupstar is nowhere to be found. We have Midnight Rider for the membership for 2 months. I'm going to miss Pupstar. She would have been there for you, Midnight Rider, and she's not. Maybe if you ping her, maybe if you encourage her to come on and talk her shit, or maybe say her piece. The fact that she doesn't even want to say
if you're watching,
goodbye.
come on, talk to us. We're not going to attack you. We'll let you talk for a little while.
They make it seem like, oh, she's able to come back on, but I'm telling you, she's probably not able to. They do this. They do that sort of thing.
Explain your case.
You can promise.
Just for a little bit. Just a little bit.
I won't promise anything.
I want to get her on here. I want to see what she has to say.
You know what?
It's just wild. This is the craziest thing that's like happened.
I'm being very tame right now. Because I did.
See, and I'm 100% certain that she's banned and not allowed to come back on to say her piece. Because if she was allowed to, she would come back on there and just say whatever. If she's really that sort of mean girl type, the sort of type that would not have a problem throwing her weight around. Okay.
I did dig up something on Pupstore. I did.
Okay.
It was much better than your PowerPoint. 5 minutes, and I got dirt on you quicker than you did that PowerPoint.
There we go. The dirt on Pupstar.
She could have got all those messages were right there. She could have got for y'all's conversation. That still bothers me.
A leaker, a stinker, and you're not a very free thinker.
Whoa.
So you spent all that time to decorate that PowerPoint, have no substance, think that you cooked. Girl, that shit was burnt. You were cooking so long on that freaking PowerPoint design that you burnt the fucking content. My dirt is not that pretty. My dirt is messy. You're a messy fucking pup. And you might be cordial, sweet tea, but she did something personal to me. She released personal, private information on live, and she thought that I would just be okay with that. She was so fake that we had a 3-person conversation. You weren't there because it was between me and Sweet Tea, me and Pupstar, sorry. And Brantley was trying to mediate.
Oh yeah.
She was yelling like a banshee the entire time. I did record it because I wanted to have it in my brain, a little boop, in my memory.
Super chatted $10. Pupstar needed to go. She brought a bad attitude to the show and seemed difficult to work with. We at Jester Live support the Locale dolls.
Isn't that what you want?
Thank you so much. So we actually have support from Jester Live. If you don't know Jester Live, please check them out. They're really, really fun dudes. They do some gaming content. But Pupstar. You can't just release personal information on live. Go into a call with me and Brantley and think that everything's okay. Everything's not okay.
Well, if that was me, she probably would have got me, and I probably would have just, I don't know, left or something. But I'm surprised you were able to stick it out like that. Was really admirable. Admirable.
The fact that I called her out on it, I said, "You really think I'm going to respect you? You really think I'm going to trust you after you release my personal information out there?" She does it again. She did that PowerPoint, and where did she get all that information? From group chats, private group chats, DMs, private DMs. At least when I do it, I either not put somebody's name because they don't want people to know that they said that, or they already know that I'm going to say something because it relates to the thing that I'm talking about, or I ask them beforehand in general. Plus I add context. That's something else that you missed. Context. You don't just take a screenshot of something. Don't say what you said. Don't say like what was before or after. You just don't do that shit. That's not how you do content in general.
I'm happy you reminded me of that because I completely forgot that she even did that with all the crap that she's done lately. Like some of the stuff you just have to forget because it's so much.
Even if you come back, nobody's gonna trust you. Even if you come back,
I'll post my blood pressure reading tonight so you guys can see it. It's been doing better.
Nobody's gonna like you because of the things that you've done.
That's true.
And I'm gonna give people another reason to not like you. I'm gonna give people another reason to not trust you.
Oh, so yeah, Ed in the chat. The blood pressure medications help for sure. It's definitely not the drinking or the smoking, for sure. As long as I keep it below 140, I will make the doctor happy. I'll make myself happy, for sure. Okay.
And let's get into
if she's not trustworthy, people need to know. You know?
And Sponge, I played the Rekieta stuff in the beginning. So we can always revisit that.
Let me find the exact timestamp where we see this going on. We're actually gonna let this play through just a little bit.
Oh, okay. They're changing the screen.
Let me make sure that it is up for the audience.
T-Berry said, "Sweet Tea, I
have a black screen
I
here,
was
ladies.
really put off by you and your arm humping dog. Weird. That waterhole plunge though. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you." That was my horrible introduction.
We just have a black screen, ladies.
That dog humping my arm.
Do these dolls know how to
She
run
doesn't
OBS?
do it anymore either, so I'm happy. She just stopped on her own.
So you see what's going on screen right now?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Not to the audience.
Cleaning it off later.
Okay, well, it tastes really good. Okay, I got you.
All right.
They
I didn't
will
even mention
fix
my
it.
tongue, but I'm glad your mind went
Okay,
there.
I hope it's fine. If not, then
So this is Pupstar. This is what she's known for
What do you
doing.
think of
She
Bishop?
goes
1
on
to 10
dating
rating?
shows.
10.
Well, if you show us, it'll be better.
10.5. Oh my God, the inflation is out of control.
Before we get into the juicy parts, yeah, that's what she's known for. She goes on dating shows. She's very
Ladies, the void needs to be fixed.
cutesy when she's on dating shows. She does like kick stuff. Let's see when this was. This was 4 weeks ago.
They said it's a black screen. Somebody did.
A black screen.
Yeah, black screen.
Check.
Let me check. Jesus Christ. I don't understand why this is not working as well.
Oh my God, it is black screen.
Let's just do it this way. Let's do it this way
Okay,
because my OBS does
whatever,
not want to
girls.
work the way that it should. If you see here, I'm just going to bring it up this way. If you see here, this is from 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago, okay.
Notice the shirt that she's wearing.
Yeah, the cleavage, yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you take a gander when this was?
Was it one of the... She wore that dress on one of the shows, didn't she?
Indeed. So, the first episode of Look How Dark, where we see Popstar, where she makes her debut, we see this shirt. This is the same day. And the same day that she was on Look How Dark, which is now Look How Dolls.
Not that big.
Oh.
This is what happens.
Overlining, like, yes.
Ben.
Who's
she
this?
runs into Ben Thorp. The same day she appeared on Local Dolls. She ran into Ben Thorp, and Ben has an open chest. Look at that. Big Daddy Ben right there. Okay. Look at that. You think Ben said something in her ear? Or was like, hey, when you go on Local Dolls, this is what you need to do. You need to ask for that contract.
Silver lining, like, yes, like, y'all, he eats low key. Can I do like a photo of you when you were younger?
Oh my god.
I have some photos. Yeah.
Okay.
Who is that?
Whoa. Back up. Is she receptive to Ben?
Oh my god.
I have some photos. Yeah.
Okay.
Who is that?
Well, back up again. She asked, do you have photos of when you were younger?
Who's this?
Silver lining, like, yes, like, y'all, he eats low key. Can I do like a photo of you when you were younger?
Oh my god.
I have some photos. Yeah.
Okay.
Who is that?
Holy shit. Ben might just find him another wife. Don't worry, she's 19, I think. It doesn't really matter to Ben.
I don't have them on me.
Okay, that's okay. Ask me your questions, King.
Is that Mr.
What's your name?
Mm-hmm.
You can Popstar.
Popstar.
Okay.
Popstar, like puppies.
She doesn't even look 19 right here. She looks older. I mean, it looks...
Popstar?
Puppy.
Yeah.
So she's very cutesy, very nice, very nonchalant. The same day that she was on Look How Dark, she went on a dating show and she interacted with this person.
Holy
They
shit.
can't even say his name. I think they said that during that, right? They're like, is that who I think it is?
Popstar?
Puppy.
Yeah.
So she's very cutesy, very nice, very nonchalant. The same day that she was on Look How Dark, she went on a dating show and she interacted with this person.
Holy shit.
Now,
Nobody's done nothing like that. That's crazy.
Now, okay, might not be a big deal. Maybe she didn't know about him, but we've mentioned this person before to her. We told her about all the Voldemorts in the LCU.
All the Voldemorts, the people you're not supposed to cross paths with, or talk to, or even mention, or do anything with, right? They actually have a list of people you cannot even associate with. Wow.
And still, after learning about that, she didn't say shit. Mm-mm. She didn't say...
She probably forgot about your stupid list. She probably didn't pay attention. Like, who would... on it? What? You say, oh, here's a list of people, Voldemorts we don't want you to interact with. Like, oh, that's not stupid. Like, what bad could come from that? You guys are just being idiots.
Say a fucking word. I had to discover this by myself whenever I asked her, hey, can you talk about... Because this was during the time that we were doing the dating stream. I don't do dating streams. I never done a dating stream before. I don't know how the content works out. But
I don't know anything about it either.
Mm-hmm. But I said, like, can you provide me an example? She sent me that video, the whole thing. I started scrolling through it. Just scrolling, just seeing how the content should be formed. And
Both these two would be annoying on a dating stream. Okay.
All of that.
The chances.
The fact that she kept that secret. The fact that she nothing. Okay, that's fine. We already know you're a liar. We already know they keep stuff from us.
And I'm telling you right now, that is the reason why she's banned. That's the reason why she was fired and kicked off of Local Dolls. All the other stuff about being in all these Discord servers, self-harm Discord servers or whatever, all that, none of that even really matters. It's all about being involved with Ben Thorp. And all the involvement was a dating panel. That's all it is. An e-girl auction. Okay. All right, that's all it is. Now, they're going to mention all the self-harm discords and go into detail. But that's just distraction. That's like additional stuff, but that's not the reason. That's stuff that maybe Keem can make people feel like, it's something else. But we know the reason why. Keem is afraid of Ben. He really is. He fears him. Like, in a way that's like, it doesn't make any sense. Ben's not going to hurt Keem in any way. Yet Keemstar is afraid of him.
Pop star.
Pop star.
Pop star, like puppies.
Pop star.
Puppy.
Yeah.
So she's very cutesy, very nice, very nonchalant. The same day that she was on Locale Dark, she went on a dating show and she interacted with this person.
Holy shit.
Now
nobody's done nothing like that. That's crazy.
Now, okay, might not be a big deal. Maybe she didn't know about him.
Hey, Mackenzie.
But we've mentioned this.
Hey, Mackenzie. So what do you think about this stuff here? The Mama K interview. Oh yeah. We did react to the Mama K stuff. But as far as the body cam, that stuff hasn't dropped yet. Oh yeah. So Mackenzie, do you have any thoughts about this? It's kind of it's kind of a weird cross or I guess intersection here of like, so this whole Locale Dolls thing is it's nothing I would watch, nothing any of us here would watch. We don't care about this stuff. It's dumb. It was kind of painful to kind of get to this part, but the reason why we're here is because Ben Thorp, this pup star person, interacted with Ben Thorp one time on a dating panel, like the same day that she would debut on Locale Dolls, and then that's a huge thing, right? That's a huge problem for her. She's fired. She's fired. Yeah, I didn't know what Locale Dolls was until today. And I am going to erase it from my memory. At least I'm hoping. It's so bad that this is like my lowest view stream so far as of late. 12 people. Oh my God, it's painful. Locale Dolls is horrible. It's cancer. So I don't know if I'm going to get 20 likes. But I'll take an extra shot.
This person before to her. We told her about all the Voldemorts in the LCU.
I'll make it Jaeger to make it seem like it's a party. Yay.
And still, after learning about that, she didn't say shit.
It's a party, guys. It's a party.
She didn't say a fucking word. I had to discover this by myself whenever I asked her, hey, can you talk about, because this was during the time that we were doing the dating stream. I don't do dating streams. I never done a dating stream before. I don't know how the content works out. But
I don't know anything about it either.
Hey, Mackenzie, I said this too. You let me know if you think I'm right here. These girls, I think they would be torn up on a dating stream. Okay? They would be.
But
all right, here we go.
I said, can you provide me an example? Party. She sent me that video, the whole thing.
This shot's for you, Mackenzie.
I started scrolling through it. Just scrolling, just seeing how the content should be formed. And I saw that.
Ooh, okay.
The chances.
The fact that she kept that secret. The fact that she nothing. Okay, that's fine. We already know you're a liar. We already know they keep stuff from us.
The other side talked her into coming in here to infiltrate or something.
Now that
the other side talked to her to infiltrate or something. What do you mean? Like the Thorps? You think Pup Star is working with the Thorps?
That's another thing.
That's my first thought.
That's another thing that we need to talk about. Brandy and I started talking, and we were wondering, why is she pushing so hard to sign a contract? Why was she on a dating stream with this person? Why all of a sudden she started doing all this stuff where she's like trying to get people to hate her? Why is she pushing so hard to go to the party? Why does she want to go to prom so fucking much?
Oh my God, you're right. She was really pushing to go for the 4th of July.
She was really
like way beyond what a normal person would do.
The 4th of July party was called prom? What? Oh man, this show is bad, dude. Okay.
To go to prom. Who showed up at that camp?
Oh my God.
Wait. Was Pupstar at camp? No, but the Thorps were.
It's just a little weird, and that's all I'm saying.
That is a little weird.
It's a little weird. Cloud chaser. Exactly. Some people are calling her a cloud chaser. Some people are saying,
Oh, honey. Already from what you guys have said of Pupstar, she has more talent than both of y'all combined. Okay? you girls are insane. She's on one panel with Ben the same day that she's on Local Dolls. And you think that Ben is like working with her? You think Ben is telling her what to do? The reason why she was asking for a contract is because when you're working with someone like that, you ask for a freaking contract, and she knew what her worth was. How about that? How about Keemstar and Brentley ran into another woman that has at least some self-respect to know that, hey, I need to get a contract if I'm working with you like this. In the previous stream I reacted to, thinking it was this one, they talk about that. What they said here was that, all Pupstar did was do her little doll face, puppy dog face to a Daddy Keemstar, and Daddy gave her a contract. They're jealous because they're not Pupstar. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely envious for sure. These chicks in high school? No, one is 30. The other one, I'm not exactly sure. Neither one of them are in high school, but they're playing high school girls. Local Dolls is supposed to be like the Teen Vogue of the Local universe. It's kind of a stupid concept because I don't think high school girls are going to be watching this. At least I'd hope not. I don't even know. I don't care. And I'm hoping this is our last venture into this realm of the internet. Because I swear, if I get a lot of ads for like Claire's and like, very girly things,
Friends with Voldemorts. Yeah.
Friends of Voldemorts. Friends of Voldemorts. Okay. And let's go back to here. When Ben was talking to Ruby, this conversation was very cool. I don't know if you caught this, but Ruby and Ben are making a truce here. And he does talk about Pupstar a little bit.
Showing up in South Carolina. Okay. And don't encourage anyone to do that. So that's sincere. I mean, I think it would be stupid what we even do. But
Exactly. So yeah. I appreciate that, but I'm curious. So, what do you think about? So you didn't hear about this until you just saw me playing. I mean, this just happened. That episode, I believe, is still live. I was just watching it, and then when I saw Beans whip up that scenario, I was like, "This is too funny. I need to make a stream about this." Yeah. So what do you think? Crazy. Is it true? What? Tell us.
Well, I do think. Okay, so if I'll say this, I think is true.
Yeah, guys, I don't think we're gonna hit 20 likes to get that other shot. It is what it is there.
Streamer to streamer. We don't have to get personal. Keem has alienated some of the best talent that he has. Like you would have been, I always said you would have been great on that show. You're a queen. I've always, everyone on their show said Grace should be on that show. She's a queen. Lynx has her own thing, a little different than you guys, but like she's a superstar. And then I actually predicted the Savage thing. I was like, she's too entertaining. He's going to boot her. But now you've got all the stars off the show, and they're left with, I would say Becky's talented. You agree with that?
Yeah, they have some talent, but I agree with you. They're quickly alienating anyone who's like, because Popstar does have a lot of talent, but it's like they just lay down all these insane rules, and it's like, who would want to work with that? Also, when you have to say that you're not going to do any of your own individual streaming, that hurts you, Keem. You're creating an insular universe that's increasingly irrelevant.
Right. But as a streamer, like I was saying, when Savage, and I know you guys were shit talking each other, but you, Ava, Grace, and Savage, that was better than anything LCU puts out. I'm sorry. It just was. In terms of the quality of entertainment. And I understand like there was some personal stuff, but if that can be gotten over and like I would just say that like women have a way in which they want to.
Devin, pay attention to her chat on what Grace said that Spicoli made a mistake. What, on the chat on the screen here? Are the messages you sent me yesterday?
Make the bag. Like then I don't know that they care as much about like looking good as getting the bag. Whereas Keem seems like he just wants to look good and he doesn't care how much real talent he alienates. So I think, it is kind of interesting that like in a certain sense, the Voldemorts actually rule their.
I do see some chat there. It says Spicoli was trying to be edgy. I don't believe that. Spicoli is pretty sick.
Because actually, I never read Harry Potter, but isn't it true that like by calling someone Voldemort, you give them more power? Isn't that even true?
Well, of course, because you can't say their name. If you can't say another man's name, dude, then you're pretty weak.
It's crazy. Like it's super counterproductive, and it just doesn't.
Well, it depends who it's productive for. But if you're rooting for the LCU, then you would say it's counterproductive. But if you're actually saying like, well, you could set up an alternative LCU, go head to head with them and take all their viewers, then it's quite productive. You know what I mean? Like every negative thing has a positive thing to it. And I think Shittucky, as far as Popstar, I interact with her for a couple of minutes.
There you have it. As far as Popstar, interacted with her a couple of minutes.
I'm going to say right here and now whether I do have a relationship with her beyond that, but like maybe I do.
But maybe he does.
Because I have had a lot of interactions with.
Now, later on in this conversation, he'll say that again. He'll repeat that. It kind of sounds like maybe kind of friend terms-ish, And there's this theory that they're cooking up, this wild theory that maybe Popstar is working with Ben Thorp. Ruby's kicking the hornet's nest. Well, I think Ben's going to push her to do that. And if they want to make a rival show, they should go ahead and do that. And just that's not all that she said? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's more. Okay. I gotta watch that chat. It's kind of small. At the tiny chat there. Yeah, Spicoli trying to be edgy. Then I have. Good thing the chat doesn't move fast. I'll let it play.
Care that much about LolCal Live. You know what I mean? We weren't part of it that much. And so at a certain point, we felt like we had to milk drama, and that wasn't really fair to the audience. You know what I mean? And some of it is so stupid, honestly. Could you imagine reviewing a lot of this stuff? It's just,
you know what? I would gladly support them in this this little venture that wouldn't go down. I don't even know how I would be able to support them other than, be a character in it or whatever, and obviously talk about it and, that sort of thing, react to it, and definitely be a champion for it, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh, are they fired or not? It's like,
it's hard.
How many times can you have that conversation and take it seriously before, you just say, but there are occasionally interesting things that happen. I also think Boogie is a really great performer. I actually think between Boogie and Becky, they're the whole quality that remains. Everyone else is sort of garbage, except Keemstar is himself the biggest lolcow. I think he makes Boogie look like a healthy human being in comparison.
Make it towards the end.
Guaranteed to win. You've got more.
I called her puppy.
I've always said this about you. You've got more talent in your little finger than 90% of the cast. I would say Becky's legit, and I would say Boogie's legit, but I think they'd leave for greener pastures at this point, because I don't think the money's really that good, and the humiliation and stuff, it's a high price to pay.
They pay with their whole lives just become about this, and Keem just needs more and more control. It seems like a 24/7 thing. I don't know if you saw, I can play a clip of Glammy.
That's part of the reason why I couldn't do anything with that stuff, with the locale stuff. I got a job. The only time I can really stream is at night. And that's it. I can't hang out in Discords. I don't have time for that. I don't have any time for... I barely have time to even talk to my own wife. I'm so busy with work stuff, during the day.
Had this insane...
I did see that. Yeah.
Did you see that? Okay.
It was fun. I mean, it was funny, but I feel bad for her. But that's kind of Keno. I get how putting someone in that position is funny, and she's being a lolcow because she's too sincere, and she doesn't get that this is a ridiculous thing to get upset about.
Way too into it, but it's
but also as a human being,
people,
But also as a human being, she's legit. The screws aren't all there. She's way too into it, and they're just exploiting it for laughs, and it's sadistic. That is sadistic. I don't think that's healthy to do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I don't think they have to. If they just let people be crazy and be on these shows and just be themselves, the drama will happen.
Right? Yeah,
it'll
absolutely.
be more drama than you want. I just don't get it. But obviously, there's something there. There's thousands of people watching. They are paying, even though it's.
Get to the next pub star mention.
The more interesting content was just getting to know the area and the people in the area, and they could have done that just as easily as we could have done it.
Yeah,
but they just keep everything. I hate to use the word, but it's kind of incestuous, right? It has to be only people that you completely control, and then you have to make shit up to keep it going. And then some of it's real, a lot of it is real, but it gets old. But I guess there's an audience for it, so you've got to. I guess you got to give them props, but it is dwindling.
Yeah.
So I think something could happen from the outside that could open it up. And I think Keemstar would actually lean into it at a certain point, because he does like to win in the end, even at his own expense. So I don't know. It's just something to think about, because I really don't. I've heard you kind of making overtures to say, let's have a truce. And I think just as streamers, even if you say I personally, whatever, as streamers, both of our audiences are kind of bored at this point with just the same old shit. So, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
This
sure.
Truce
So like,
talk is
it's
interesting.
competitive, but I just like, yeah, we can just put away. You know, I'm not gonna try to like call anything around you guys. You don't call anything around mine. Don't fuck with our trip. You can restream it, make the, you know, I'm sure, you know, you can mock the hell out of everything you do. That's all fine. Just no real stuff.
I'd rather have us work together. And then if we have a common enemy, and it's not really an enemy, but like if we have, you know, we could, instead of like we end up plateauing, both of us end up plateauing at a certain point. If you take on a bigger fish together, I think we could both succeed.
You can hear Grace
and it doesn't
cough.
even have to necessarily be at their expense. I honestly think if we were able to troll Lol Cow live, they would benefit from it. They would have benefited if they had interacted with us when they were there more. But you know, I get it. They want the control. So, anyways,
all right. Well, I wanted to go back to the clip, and it cut out there for a sec.
Man, I passed it up. As I see, the problem with Ben, it's hard to know when he mentions that one particular thing, but it does mention Pupstar again, and like saying that he does talk to her. Okay, so you have that. You combine that with like Ben wanting to team up with Ruby to once again kind of tackle Keemstar and the Local Live universe stuff. You can make a convincing argument for like Pupstar being involved in that sort of way. But it seems wild though at the same time. Because the interaction is very short of what we know of between Ben and Pupstar. It was just a dating panel. Now, had they been talking behind the scenes? I mean, Ben alludes to that. You know? I'll play a little bit of this, their reaction, and I'm going to hear them cook their conspiracy theory.
It don't look good.
My heart hurts.
Your heart hurts. Yeah. Imagine she took that stream where she said my private information. Then we had a group chat with Brantley. She was trying to mediate. At the end, I said, I'm surprised you're not even using what I told you about with my family emergency to your benefit. I'm surprised you didn't release that. And she goes, do you want me to? Because I'll fucking do it. The fact that you are not showing any sort of remorse, you would release the information from my family emergency. You're not making yourself look any fucking better, Pupstar. Who? She's an op.
This changes a lot.
This does change a lot. So now she's looking a little bit worse. So Keemstar found this out. She's now looking very good in Keemstar's eyes. I'll just say that. Who wants to know about the Discord server she's in?
Okay, now they're going to get into the Discord servers. Pupstar's in a lot of self-harm Discord servers, and they're going to make that seem like a bad thing. I mean, maybe Pupstar is looking for some help with these Discords, or maybe she's trying to be an edgelord and encourage them to go further. I don't know. But all this stuff they're about to get into is like fluff. The core of it, as we know, following the Thorps, following the Thorps and their interaction with Keemstar, from that, we know the truth. We know the truth. It has to do with interacting with Ben. Keem saw that. Once Keem was aware of that, he was not going to mess with that stuff, right? Because he fears Ben. He fears that. Like he is so afraid of someone coming into his universe, whatever, to mess things up. Which is wild, because aren't these shows about drama? Oh, but it has to be scripted and played, right? You can't have any wild cards there. You can't have some real, like, blood sports stuff. Now, that's the heart of this. That's the heart of this topic right here. I feel like we covered quite a bit here tonight. I feel like, we talked about Rekieta in the beginning. That was a doozy of a clip there. We did a little bit of the iDubbbz stuff. And we spent a good while tackling or exploring this weird conspiracy between Pupstar and Ben and how it relates to Keemstar and all that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. I it feels weird to wrap it up right now, Hurricane and Mackenzie. I see you guys are still active in the chat there. One thing I could do is a proper send-off. What would that proper send-off be? Well, probably against my doctor's wishes and not good for my liver. I guess we can have another shot of vodka. Now, this is the part where I have to be a grifting hoe. I'll make it a double. I'll tell you what, no. I'll combine the Jaeger and the vodka if y'all show me some love. You know what I'm talking about. That's right. I'll do the vodka already. There's some vodka in here. But we can combine it with Jaeger. I don't know what that makes. I don't know if that's a drink name. I guess we could call it the Atomic Jaeger. Get a little bit of vodka, a little bit of Jaeger together. Here we go. Mr. Dead Air. Yeah, Mr. Dead Air right now. That's right. Here we go. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and pour the Jaeger in there. Be my send-off. There we go. Hey, it's good to see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Been doing this every night. Y'all take it easy. And have a good one. Whoa. Oh. Whew. Oh, man. Ooh, that was good. Ooh. Oh. All right, I'm good. Okay. That's it. Yeah, until next time. Probably see you. You know what? We might do a walk and talk tomorrow. I didn't do one today. But I did go walking on Monday. I took my kids. We walked to the other store. There's a store across the street from the store I've been going to. That's even better. But since my kids were with me, I didn't stream that one. All right, with that said, y'all take it easy. Hopefully have a good night, man. Hopefully Wednesday's good for you. And, yeah, y'all take it easy.